So let's see if we're gonna look whole lot of gang shit. Let's see if we're gonna actually get into Arthur and his shenanigans. We've seen enough flashbacks from other people are doing, so. Let's see. They just posted up. Damn. It's crazy, bro. They don't even be showing this war, but like, people be getting fucked up. Like, I just be looking at this shit, bro. Let's see. Let's see, do I have any tabs open that I don't need open? Just like, I'm seeing some stuff move around a little slow. I'd be like not wanting to close tabs. I'm like, oh, I need this later, but like, if it's important enough, I'll remember to open it again later. I actually do need a lot of these tabs though. And all right, that's pretty good. Yo, Arjan. Literally just in time. I'm starting this T-Bait chapter 180. You got 3 chapters to catch up on. So Arthur, hold on. Arjan, you need to see this shot, bro. I don't know if you read the chapter already, but look at this, look at this. Look at this just gang shit right here, bro. Even the mom, like, she don't like she want to be there, but gang shit. Thank you for your service. All right, let's see. Let's see if I fuck with anything in this station that I just made. I'm not gonna fuck with this. Let's see. See, this is the thing though. See, even SoundCloud is kind of like, so I made a station out of one of my songs, and then, but like, it's just a bunch of remixes of just other artists. I'm sitting here like, let me see. Let's see what this artist has, because I like this song, so let's see. You might just, I'm gonna follow him. You might just fuck with his music. This guy's name is Truth. Let's see. All right, I see the vision. That panel was tough. All right. Helen. Oh, Helen. Is everyone else? They all get washed? They're all right. The rest of the twin horns were escorted to the medical wing. It was only... Oh yeah, that one guy got off screen though. Forget his name. Like some doo-wop. Well, I don't know if that's copyright safe or not, but I know that what I am playing is, at least for now. It's so crazy, bro. My mic, right now it's centered for me, but maybe just because of the angle of the camera, it looks like it's off to the side, but it's actually centered for me. So y'all get the Chris ASMR, you know? So it looks like it's at an angle. It's just for the camera angle. We'll go with you. Damn, bro got the growth spurt, look. I'm glad you're safe. I'm so sorry, Arthur. I know what you're thinking, but war is war and death is inevitable. The best thing to do is focus on how we'll make those damn Alacrians and their mutant pets pay. So don't blame yourself. Okay. They're going to tell Helen about rejoining the Twin Horns. She'll be happy to have them back. With Adam gone, the Twin Horns are going to need more support now than ever. I think I'm actually... I might adjust this. Might center myself a little bit. Right there. Drip? Like, he know what he's doing with the drip, though. Like, you can't really be that depressed with the fit on like this. You know, that just offsets it. They getting washed, though, bro. Arthur needs to step in the front lines. Like, they getting massacred. I'm surprised they're even put up a fight against the Lacrians. Whoa, what? Arthur Lewin? Where's Tessia? Was she with you? Ouch. Your grip is a bit tight. Sorry, Standard. I'm glad to see you're okay. Where's the rest of your team? I don't know. The twin, bro, my man, he be getting feral over Tessa. Like he's like, where's my hoe at? Like, I don't know. The Twin Horns escorted the injured to safety after we got to the base, but everyone else just got mixed up. All right, let me try a different song. I kind of like the ethereal. I kind of like the way that this soundtrack sounds, though. Like, some songs, I like the way that they start, but I might not save it unless, like, I'm like halfway through the song and I'm like still feeling it. They're here. It's Karya. She's with Darvis. Oh, damn. She pulled that person in. Ah, thanks. Oh, okay. I see the fit. Got some tea? What is this? I need to know what happened to Tessia. She what? Bro, you can't stall like that. Like, oh, what happened to her? Oh, she, and then just stop. It's like, no, finish your sentence before I start tripping. I gotta be able to really feel the melody to save a song. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, some music is like, I might be really feeling a song when I hear it, but that don't mean I gotta save it. Like, it was just for that moment, you know? But like, if I feel like I can feel myself vibing to it again, then I will save it. She has good timing, apparently. Oh, here she goes. Oh, she's alive. Okay. Damn. Wait, actually, I was gonna say that she got her fit is actually fully intact. At first, I was gonna think that like it was like damaged, but she don't even look like she took any damage, bro. I mean, she looked like she's a little scuffed up in the face, so it might have just been mental exhaustion. But I don't think she fought anybody that really like challenged her too much, because like her armor doesn't even look like it's been damaged. Oh, they're reunited. Wait, what's gonna happen? Uh-oh. PTSD flashbacks? I hope you not take this advice lightly, Arthur. It's wisest to close your heart to the elf princess, Tessia. Damn. Does she not see him though? Well, yeah, that's true though. Like, if he connects with her now, that's gonna compromise him because they're in the middle of a war and stuff. Arthur, it's good to see you. Yeah, but anyway, but that's his bitch though. So like, I'm glad you're okay. Of course I am. Come on, I'll take you to your grandfather. Damn, look, they both got the fits. They kind of matching low key. They kind of coordinated. Okay, reunite with the grandfather as well. Damn, it's kind of lit, honestly. I wasn't able to spend too much time with Art after our short reunion. Grandpa insisted on sending me to my room for medical tests as soon as he let me go. I was mostly fine aside from the soreness in my bones. I'm trying to remember when I used to read webtoons. I'm trying to remember if I was even streaming them before, or if I just recorded them. It's like, I remember there was a time when I didn't stream my content. I just recorded it locally. I'm trying to think of like, damn, it's been so long since I've done that. I don't even remember what it was like. I was relieved to see my team had been taken care of. That they were all safe. I think I even at times, you know, actually, I'd be down to do this. I think there have been times where I literally just streamed off of YouTube and then just published it like that. But in order for me to do that, I'd have to make sure the soundtrack was copyright free. And then also, a lot of times when I stream on YouTube, it'll put the streams like separate from my regular uploads. You know what I'll probably do? I'll probably stream specific series on YouTube as like stream almost like a YouTube live exclusive series. And then that will be for those. Like maybe what I'll do, well, I don't know. I was gonna say for Nanomachine and Mount Wa Sect, but I feel like those actually can get their own uploads too, since those were already popular. Streamed a few of them, but not all of them. Yeah, I think it just depends. And if only for a brief moment, it felt nice to be back in my room. This at least had stayed the same. My room ain't the same, bro. I was literally, last time I was at my parents' house, well, not the last time, but like one point I came back to my house and I had seen that they had taken all my shit out of my room. I'm like, all right, well then I guess y'all like, there's no moving back home because y'all clearly don't want me to. There's no space for me here. Like, there's even times where my mom would be like, oh, you know, you can just come and stay at the house for a few days. I'm like, stay where? Like, honestly, if they had kept my room intact, I would legitimately have been like, oh, okay, this is like, I just got an extra room somewhere where I can be staying. But now I'm like, it's like there's still beds in there, but I'm like, bro, like my shit's not even in here no more. Like, if I can convert one of the rooms in my parents' house into a separate stream setup, then that would be fine. Then I could, so long as I can work from home, from work in that room, I could be chilling there. But so that's one thing too, is like being able to like if you're, well, I guess it's like no one's about to be, I don't even know who this is in reference to because no one's about to be a parent anytime soon. But like as somebody who has faces, it's like if you end up having kids and they move out of the house, you just keep the room as it is. Like unless like, you know, you just like, it's almost like once it's like I just got written out of the script. It's like once I'm not at the house anymore, it's just like I'm not even, my presence isn't even factored in. I don't know. I'm one of 4 kids who all moved out years ago. My sister's room is the only one really left with their stuff, and she's the oldest, so she was the first to leave. Others are storage. Yeah, the rooms we convert into storage rooms and shit like that. I'm like, bro, how about you just throw this shit away? Like I'm gonna pull up on my parents' house and start throwing shit away or something. Like I'm gonna just come up with a moving truck or something. Take that shit to the dump. Like clear up some real estate, right? Like especially these days, especially these days, how expensive rent is, bro. Like, and back in the fact that at my house in Long Beach, where my parents are, there's just extra space. And you start renting that space out. Like, there's even like a whole shed. There's a whole shed in my backyard that my uncle used to live in when he was living there. Like, cause it was like my mom, it used to be my grandparents' house, right? And that whole shed was his room. Like, he had his like mini fridge set up, you know, so there's electricity in there and then everything like that. So I'm like, bro. And then that shed right now is just full of bullshit. I'm like, bro, that's a bedroom in there. That's a laboratory. That's an office space. Still have beds just full of boxes and other stuff. Yeah, that must be like that's a boomer thing, bro. Like of just hoarding shit, like just having shit in boxes. Like, bro, like adults, like I say adults like I'm not an adult, but let's say, okay, like adults from our parents' generation, right? They will have stuff in boxes stored away somewhere for decades. If I can put something somewhere and years go by without me touching it, it doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. That shit is trash, bro. Like, it's like, oh, what the sentimental value, whatever. That's, to me, that sounds like material attachments slowing us down, right? Nah, throw that shit out. Make space. We can get new shit. We can get new shit to take up that space that is more relevant to the present moment. Hey, what up? This name Carlito. But yeah. I'm so tired, but I can't sleep. Damn, I hate that feeling, bro. You're tired and you can't sleep. What do? You're too tired to do anything, but like, you can't sleep, so you just have to just exist. I wonder if Grandpa's still up. Oh no, she gonna get up. Look, she gonna get up in the middle of the night and walk into something she's not supposed to. Should tell her, Beering. Yeah, look, she gonna walk into people talking shit. You can't hide something like this, bro. This is such a cliche. Like, if I'm talking shit about somebody, like why is the door cracked open? Like, you want them to pull up and eavesdrop. Like, like she gonna come through. Like, this is such a cliche thing, you know. You can't hide something like this from her. It's impossible. She'll find out eventually. Arthur, it's fine if she finds out later, but she's not ready for this. She's not in a condition to take this in. What are they talking about? What are they talking about? I don't even know if I know. Hey, what up, Dr. Palmas? Great seeing you too. She'll listen to you if you respect her enough to tell her. If she finds out from anyone else, what do you think she's going to do? Damn you, boy. What if she decides to go? Then what? Maybe like I just forgot. I'm like legitimately like, wait, what is it? What is it that they're talking about? Like, Viren, you and I both know what your granddaughter is capable of when she puts her mind to something. I know. with Cynthia dying by the hands of those virtual bastards right here in the castle, what if? Oh shit, she didn't know about that? Master Cynthia dead? Damn, they hadn't broke that news to her. Well, she did just get back. That's impossible. She can't be. I'll be in my room. Let me know when you tell her. She's just waiting. I was like, is she gonna hide? Let me know when you tell her. Oh, well, she know now. Well, I guess I don't gotta worry about telling her now, so. Tessia. Master Cynthia. Take me to her. What, her corpse? Did they keep that shit? They haven't buried her yet? Honestly, a lot of times too, I don't even be saving the music, but like, if it don't get claimed, then it's like, all right. Oh, I'm kind of fucking with this though. Hold on. But once again, actually, this one, I'm gonna save this one. I'm gonna trust it. Maybe I'll still fuck with it. I definitely have times where I save stuff to my playlist, and then I was really feeling it at the time, and then I'll go back and listen later and be like, what the fuck is this? And I'll remove it. So give it a trial period in the playlist. Oh, by the way, once again, if anybody in the chat, let me know how the audio sounds, if anything's too quiet or too loud. But it should be fine, honestly. Like, once I usually post the VOD, I don't see any issues. Why is Master Cynthia being kept in such a filthy and degrading place? These rooms are for murderers and traitors. Sounds perfect? All right, bet. Thanks for that, Ambu TV. This is the most secure place to keep her. When circumstances permit, we'll give her a proper goodbye. I always wonder about that, like, I know that there's different like religious beliefs and things of that nature, but like how people feel about if somebody dies, like the corpse, like how well the corpse should be treated or whatever. Like, it's like, well, their soul has left the body, so it's just like a corpse. I mean, I would definitely think that like if I saw somebody and they took like the corpse and they were just like throwing it around, like that's disrespectful. Like, I don't even know why I feel that way, but like I definitely think that you do need to like handle it with care to a certain extent. But I don't know. I think like after some time has passed, like if you bury somebody and then they've been buried for years, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, we need to like when, bro, like this is the biggest, you know what's the biggest scam is like these freaking what do they call those morticians? I don't know what they call those people who deal with like funerals and stuff, right? But like how they'll be like, oh, we're gonna get you like we're gonna get you the best coffin so that the body, it decomposes the slowest. And it's like, bro, just put the fucking corpse in the box and put it in the dirt. Like, it's we ain't about to dig that shit up. It's not that serious. Like, I mean, I would say, like, you know, it would be nice to get a nice looking coffin so that during the actual funeral it looks great. But like, I don't know. I don't really feel like, you know, no disrespect to anybody who cares about me, but like, I feel like if my mom dies and then I need to get her what's this? I need to get her like a fancy coffin. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, we might cut some costs on that. Like, we'll make sure we have a very good service, right? But like, I'm not investing too much in something that's about to be put in the ground and never seen again. That just seems like, I feel like, and even for me, like, if I die, don't waste money on an actually, you know what? No, if I die, actually, I want the most bougie coffin possible, honestly. Just because, you know, even the fact that it's irrational is actually why I would want it. So if somebody if somebody specifically requests for an irrationally expensive coffin for their funeral, then I'll accommodate that, because that's more of me accommodating their death wish. But if they're indifferent towards it, then I'm indifferent towards it, you know? Open the door. You know what? That's pretty solid. That doesn't look like an expensive coffin. That looks like they might have got that from the clearance section. They got some cute little flowers on it and stuff, you know? Actually, no, bro. When I die, I don't even want to be buried in a normal like grave. I need these niggas to make me a mausoleum. Like, you know how some niggas, they have like a mausoleum, like they build a whole little thing. It's like inside, like a fucking pharaoh, bro. In fact, no, I need a pyramid built. I don't know if all the other pyramids, like, they're probably not vacant. Like, there's probably not like space in a current pyramid, but maybe before I die, we just need to have a new pyramid built, and then you can bury me in there. Or maybe we can be different. Maybe not a pyramid, maybe it's like a really big oval. You know, maybe make it circular, like just perfectly rounded around the edges. You know, so that like, if I want to, like, I feel like if it's like, because you know, circular objects, like circular structures, it's like circulating energy. So I like to think that if I'm buried in a circular object, like if my body is buried in a circular object, what if like my soul is able to like come back into my body because of the circular object, and I'll just be on some mummy type shit, you know? I mean, bro, like, think about that. Like, haven't you seen like the mummy movies? When they come back as mummies, they come back like back alive from the pyramid, bro. I bet that's literally because of the pyramids. So, hell yeah, literally. You expensive as hell? You know what's so funny? It's like, I feel like I'm the, I don't know if this is like I actually, so if any of those who pay attention to astrology, so I'm a Capricorn, right? And one of the things they say about Capricorns is that we're cheap as hell, but we also demand the most expensive things. It's like a contradiction. It's funny. But like I saw this TikTok, and it was like Capricorn, it's like, yes, I'm broke. Yes, top shelf. Like, like, I don't know, just the entitlement, I suppose, right? That's funny though. I'm like, that kind of is how I am. Like, I could be like, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of an example. Like, it could be like, I guess my mindset about this is, I definitely think your brain should operate like, you should take your future into account. Like, you should have like an investor's mindset, right? But I definitely, I balance the two. Like, I will live my life with the intention that I'm going to be like, you know, I'm going to wake up again tomorrow and have to do more shit. But then I'll also take into account, but like, on the off chance that I don't, I'm not about to like not make the fullest out of the moment that I'm currently in, right? So I'm definitely one of those people to where I could be like, oh damn, like, oh, I only have $20 to my name, right? And I'm hungry. I will spend all $20 of those dollars on like, I'll find the most I can get. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna buy a $10 meal and keep the other $10. No, I'm gonna spend those last $20 to my name on that meal, so that when I eat that meal, I'll be satiated, and it's just like, bro, like, I'd rather I'd rather die happy and broke than miserable and rich. So I'm gonna get my money's worth. I'm gonna cash in, you know. My rising and moon as well. Yeah. Oh, like don't even get me started, because I actually be fucking heavy with astrology. But my moon is a Gemini, and my rising is a Leo. And see, you know what's actually so funny is that I wouldn't even say that I'm very invested in astrology in regards to like just the whole thing. I'm just very invested in myself. So I'm just very into astrology in which it relates to me. But like, I don't even really be knowing that much about it, like on a grander scale. I like finding people who are really in astrology and then asking their opinion on my chart. Like I just remember the last time I showed somebody my chart, and like, she was like, wow, oh my gosh, your chart is so interesting. What? And I'm like, oh, tell me more. Like, tell me how special that I am, you know? But one of the things that I definitely peeped though about my chart from just like the stuff that I've looked into and what other people have observed is like my chart is like the craziest chart. Like it's like, it almost is like contradictory in some ways. Like Leo's all about self-confidence and shit. Yeah. So basically the way I get about like a Leo is like the Leo is like the most like pretentious of the signs, the most shallow. Like the Leo wants everything to be about them, and they want to be always the center of attention, right? But see, the thing is that your rising sign, one thing that I looked into, your rising sign is your mask that you portray to the world, right? And your rising sign is like your mask. Your sun is your that's like your template. And then I think like your moon is actually who you actually are. Well, I guess it just depends on how you would even rank that. Like your moon is your emotional self. And then, like I like to look at it this way, right? Your moon is your heart, your sun is your shield, and your rising is your sword, right? So, so with me being a Leo rising, that just basically means that like your rising sign is how you come off to people who their first impression who don't know you. So if somebody doesn't know my sign and just interacts with me and they're into astrology, they might think that I'm a Leo because of my rising. But like it's a mask though, so it's like a weapon. So for me, I'm not like, so basically what I interpret it is to be a Leo rising is that like I don't care about being the center of attention, but I'm very good at making myself the center of attention as a means to an end to accomplish my goals. And then so with the sun being the shield, right? That's like more of like, that's how you orient yourself through the world or how you ground yourself. So me being a Capricorn sun, that's like basically like, that's an earth sign. So it's a very grounded sign. So that's basically like me being like the Capricorns are like the CEOs of the world, right? So like, that's like the entrepreneur of the world, right? So like, that means that I'm always going to have like a CEO mindset, like, but that's not even, once again, that's not where my moon is attached to. So it's like, even in that respect, it's like, I'm not really like, I don't really care about even being an entrepreneur necessarily. It's more of like, that's just what I use to like insulate. It's like, once again, the shield. That's what I use to insulate my moon sign qualities. Gemini is social too and communication. Yeah. So me being a Gemini moons are very like intuitive, empathic. Like basically what it seems like is that at my core, I'm very emotional and sensitive and very just like, but like, it's like, if I was just like a Gemini, like outwardly, it's like, and obviously once again, there are people who are like that, but like just the way that I'm wired, I guess, like it's like almost like as a Gemini, I'm too sensitive to the point where I need to like protect myself. Like it's like, it needs to come out. Like, first of all, you're all the signs. Like you're not just one. It's just like some have different, they're just prominent in different situations. Like I feel like for me, maybe like if I'm like your moon sign, you might not get that. Like maybe your girlfriend will get your moon sign. Like I'm probably like if I'm in a relationship, that's probably, they'll probably get the Gemini version of me for like in an intimate situation. But like if I'm outside around strangers, they're probably gonna get the Leo version of me, right? But if I'm like here working, streaming, then you guys are gonna get the Capricorn version of me, right? Leos are prideful. Yeah, like, but I definitely feel that. Like I feel like when I'm out in public, it's kind of like, it's not even about, actually something that I notice is that I actually don't like necessarily being I don't even know, actually. It's not that I don't like being the center of attention, but it's almost as though for me, it's usually done on accident. And it's more of like, I don't know, because I was going to say, I like being able to blend into the background, but at the same time, not necessarily. But I think I might just be wired that way because of how I am. But actually being a Leo rising and knowing a lot of Leo suns, I feel like a lot of times with Leos, it's like not necessarily wanting to be the center of attention, but just being like the center of attention of all the people who have attention. Like, I feel like if you're a Leo, you don't really care about what random people think about you. You just care about what important people think about you. That makes any sense. But if I'm a Leo rising, then that means that I don't even really care about that at my core, just on the surface. First time in stream. Welcome, PR Prada Production. We're currently reading TVA. We're on chapter 181 right now, but we've just been ranting about astrology the past 15 minutes though. So for those of you who are just catching up, Tessia, she finally reunited with Art. She came back from fighting the war or whatnot, and she don't know that Cynthia, the old lady, like who was her teacher, passed. So they're visiting her. They're visiting her grave right now. They didn't know how to break it to her, but she just couldn't sleep and just walked in on them, eavesdropped on them talking about it. So now she knows. So now they're visiting her grave. And then we went on a whole tangent about like how we want to, well, I was saying like how I want to be buried or whatever. And then just went into a whole tangent about how is it even like, was it even worth the money? Like, but I do think that like, even when we die, that our bodies contain energy, that, you know, the way our corpses are treated does definitely affect how that energy is affecting. Like, I mean, just think of it this way, right? Like if you're buried in a very grandiose way, then it's like, anybody who witnessed that burial, it's like they're gonna register that, you know. She deserves a public ceremony. Yeah, all public ceremonies, like graduations, funerals, weddings, they're rituals. They're literally rituals. So like, if you have a wedding and then you invite a certain amount of people, you're kind of honestly making all those people your worshipers in a way, because it's like, they're all witnesses to that ritual, to that ceremony, right? But then, and also as a result too, they're now connected to it as well. So be careful who you share information and share certain rituals and ceremonies with, because you could get negative feedback, blowback from that exchange, right? But if it's with the right people, like people you care about, then it could exponentiate that, strengthen that rituals, the connection that it made. Like for example, like let's say you have like my sister, she had another graduation, getting her master's or whatever, right? Like let's say you have a graduation, and then you bring a bunch of your ops to your graduation. It's like, okay, now they're gonna just be hating on you for having graduated. With all of her students and professors who taught at Xyrus, for everything she did for the continent, she doesn't deserve to be here, and she will. But child, how could you keep this from me, Grandpa? I mean, didn't she just get back? Like, this is new information still. If I hadn't heard you through the door, when would I have found out? I mean, there's other pressing matters to be worrying about. Weeks, months after the war? I mean, honestly, finding out after the war might have been the most ideal situation. Like, if I'm in the middle of a war, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if I'm in the middle of a war and like, say like my mom dies, don't tell me till I get back. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, no, honestly, don't tell me till I get back. Don't tell me till I get back, because I don't need that kind of stress in the battlefield. That's going to affect my performance. Is there anything else you're hiding from me? Despite everything I did to show you I was mature? I mean, she says that. She says that look, this is the thing. She says everything she did to show you that she was mature. But if you're breaking down like this over the information being kept from you, then you're clearly showing, and the way that she's reacting is clearly showing that she wasn't mature enough. She wasn't ready for this information. Because if she really was as mature as she presumed, then she would understand where he was coming from and then not take it personally, right? So like, honestly, I'm all for that. I do think that like some people do need certain information kept from them for their own protection if they're not ready for it. Like if we lived in a world where everyone just told everybody just the most blunt information to their face, like some people are just sensitive. Like they're gonna end up like this. They're gonna start having breakdowns, and then, you know, sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes you got to keep it real, but other times it's just like, bro, like, not trying to deal with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how I be feeling sometimes. Like if I'm like, oh man, if I tell this girl this thing, she gonna start crying and throwing a tantrum. I'm like, I need to create space for that. And if there's a war going on, there's not time for all that. Yeah. So yeah. And like, this is even me coming from like also understanding, like, even for me, like if somebody feels like, that telling me certain things will make me react a certain way and they need to keep that information from me. I mean, me personally, honestly, I feel like I'd rather just know all the information, because I feel like I'd rather know the information than deal with it than just not know at all. But like I said, once again, if it's like I'm at war and my mom dies, and then like, it's like, you know, if it's something like that, like there's very particular cases potentially, but for the most part though, I feel like that's just, I don't know, that's just like a perfectly normal thing to do. Yeah, I think that I don't think that there's anything wrong with Arthur and Varian not telling her that. Like, I'm trying to think if there's a scenario in which it would have been appropriate to tell her. Like, I don't know. Like, if like it's not telling her because she's a girl, not telling her because she's young, or because there's a war. I mean, all those factors have to play a part, to be honest. You still treat me like a child. I mean, she is a child. Like, bro. So here's the thing, bro. If you even say that you're still treating me like a child, you are basically self-admitting that you still are a child. Because if you didn't feel like you were a child, you wouldn't feel like you're being treated like a child. You wouldn't even perceive that. Because like for me, I'm sure people treat me like a child, I wouldn't even notice, because I'm not even peeping that. I'm not even thinking in that. Like I can't even resonate with that. I can't even register that, right? Like oh my gosh, like when people would tell me, oh, you think that you're smarter than everybody, or you think that you're smarter than me. And it's like, well, if that's the assumption you came across, if I never literally said that, and that's the assumption you're making, you must think that deep down. Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. If I'm making you feel like I'm smarter than you without telling you, like, it's like, that's the thing too, is that I actually noticed this is where projection comes into play, like that victim mindset, right? So instead of her being like, oh shit, I'm acting childish in this situation, she's like, oh, you're treating me like a child. It's like, maybe you're just acting like a child. Like if you weren't acting like a child, you wouldn't be treated like a child. It's as simple as that. Like, because for me, bro, like if I'm hanging around somebody and they're younger, but they act a certain age, or they act a certain maturity level, I'm not even remember how old they are. It's like, it's gonna fall away, bro. I've had conversations with teenagers like I was talking to an adult. Like I'll have certain conversations with certain like teenagers that I wouldn't even have with certain adults, because their EQ is higher, you know? So, but because you are a child, not to break down, but like, you know, what? How can you say that? And the thing is that once again, Arthur's the same age and he's not being treated like a child because he's not acting like a child. Like, you should know better than anyone else how I'm feeling, but you call me a child? Yeah, that's literally why he does it, because he knows how you're feeling. You of all people? Throwing yourself onto the front lines at an early age doesn't make you mature. No, facts. Needlessly putting yourself in harm's way to prove a point? It's no better than a child throwing a tantrum. Arthur, how dare you? And if you took a minute, you realize why your grandfather had to keep it a secret. What do you think would happen if he announced someone had been killed by our enemy in the safest location on the continent? You're only 17, Tess, and you're only 16. Yeah, but like, you see how he's reacting, how you're reacting. So like, bro, this is like why I always like, not to be one of those ages, this is a number type of niggas, but all I'm saying is that in certain situations, it's just like, we're sitting here having dick measuring contests with how many years we've been on the planet, but like, it's not really about that only. It's like, well, who put in the more work though, right? Like, if he put in the work to mature himself faster and he's a year younger, it's like, oh, okay. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Like, it's like me being like, I don't know, bro. Like, it's like me going and finding some homeless person on the street and them being like, oh, you're only 29. I'm 45. It's like, all right, well, you're 45 and homeless though. It's just like, you know, like, I don't think that age really equates to like anything. And it's not even about, look, it's not even about like, oh, okay, like he's a guy, or he's like, bro, like he's just been through more shit. He's just been through more shit than her. Like, so it's like if she had gone through the same shit, then she probably would be ready for that information. Yeah, Grandpa, Master Alder, and even Master Cynthia never looked at you as a kid. Well, and also with Arthur specifically, he has never been a kid, because when he was born, he was already a reincarnated king. He was already taking care of everybody. He already had like high magic proficiency. And she could attest to this, because he literally saved her from the forest when she was a kid, like an adult, right? So she, of all people, should understand why. If they see me as an adult, that's something they've come to on their own, not by me trying to prove it. No, facts. Like, if you have to prove to somebody, it's like, look, what was that famous Game of Thrones line? Like, if you have to, anyone who has to say I am the king is not a king. Like, if you really are the king, then you shouldn't have to convince everyone. They should be the ones to tell you. Like, it should be like, I even saw some video. It was like, typically, like, your light, most people can see your light before you. It's more obvious to them because it's alien to them, because it's not native to them. Like, your quirk or your special, like things that are special to you. That's why, like, for me, I always like hearing feedback about like people who actually pay attention, right? Like, obviously, if it's just some random person on the internet, but like for people who actually pay attention to like me as a person and be like, oh yeah, you're really good at this. I like hearing that feedback, because it's like, well, I as myself wouldn't, it might just be something that I do every day that's just normal to me. But yeah, like, and that's just in regards to whatever it is. It's like, okay, like, however, regardless of how you feel about yourself, however you're perceived or interpreted by the world or the people closest to you, it's like, well, that's what's actually going on. So it's more of like, okay, even if you are a king in your head and at your core, if people aren't recognizing you as a king on the outside, then there's something blocking that connection. So you need to somehow find a way to translate that light that's inside of you, or that protagonist energy, in a form that can be recognized by the public, by the outside world. Somehow transmute that, right? But saw somewhere on Instagram post that T-Bait is getting an anime. Just had to call up a friend just because of that reason. Man came at me hard, known him for 10 years too. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like that sometimes. Some people, it's like, it's all love. It's just that sometimes people slow you down, you know? And yeah, that's the hardest too, when it's someone that you've known for the longest time, because you have history. But it's like, it's all love at the end of the day. But like, also at the end of the day, niggas got shit to do. You know, if we were living in a fucking Disneyland, Pixieland, we can all get in a circle, kumbaya, and spin around a campfire or something. We're that simple. Arthur, I think you've said enough. No, she needs to know, Virian. He said, look, she want to look. She said she want to be treated like an adult. She want to keep it real. Then yeah, let her know what's going on. Then how is that even fair? You get to do what you want, but no matter how hard I try what I do, I'll always be some damsel in need of protection. Well, stop putting in situations where you need protection, you need saving. Like, you figure, once again, her running away to the front lines in the first place, I'm pretty sure they advised her not to do that. So yeah, so she's already taking actions upon herself. Look, this was so funny, bro. So she wants to be treated like an adult, but whenever the adults advise her and give her opinions, these people whose opinion that she obviously values, she wants to be treated a certain way, she wants to be seen a certain way by them. But then when they give her adult wisdom and adult advice, she doesn't do it. She neglects it. And she goes off and makes her own emotional decisions. And then we'll come back and be like, why you treat me like a kid when I do all these childish things when you try to give me adult advice? So it's like, she literally wouldn't have, like, think about, I mean, I don't know if Cynthia's death, like, we can't really say that Cynthia's death is affected by where she's at. But I would definitely say that, like, if she didn't, like, she doesn't really make a difference that much being on the front lines by herself. So, bro, why are my contacts tweaking out? I might have to get more, but like, while I'm streaming, I don't want to not be able to see shit. Am I up with reaction to Gear 5 on YouTube? Seen like one short. Well, I already reacted to it, so I don't even know where that bot is, but that's not it, Tessia. You can't expect me to behave like your sister. Not everyone you care about can be locked away. I mean, that's true, but like, at the same time, she wasn't even being locked away. It was just like, she's literally the princess. Her being on the front lines, like, he was even saying the same way with his parents. He's not even with Arthur. Arthur wanted to run off too, and then they were telling him, bro, like, you can't just go running off. And he's actually traveling with Virian and all these other people. Like, he's not just running off by himself. So like, she don't gotta be locked away. She could have just waited for his ass to get back and they could have gone together, you know? Both of you, enough. Looks like I was wrong, Virion. She wasn't ready to find out about this. Yeah, clearly, look at her. She's a mess. Tessia, let's pay our respects to Cynthia. Instead of having millions of people at a ceremony, Cynthia would rather have the few she truly cherished mourn her. Yeah, I feel like that too. Like, I feel like for me, like, if I were to die, or if I were to have like a wedding or something, I wouldn't want strangers to know about it, honestly. I would just keep that to myself. I don't want people who actually know me on a personal level to be involved in that. Like, it's kind of like when they have those celebrity deaths and they have those funerals. It's like, bro, you can have like you can have a Heavenly funeral and an Anthony funeral, right? Like, y'all could, or like a Clark Kent and a Superman funeral. Like, y'all could have a funeral for me with my close friends, and then y'all could have like a prop coffin. You know what I'm saying? Like, and y'all could parade that through the streets. Like, you know, like, damn, that cat stay keeping pace too. L Nicotine, come on, bro, you was all about the fitness. I still am all about the fitness. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can still do this too. But say L internet, you know what I'm saying? Like, you over here on social media. But it's a means to an end. It's also another thing. Okay, well, see, now y'all want to get me started on this rant, right? Like, bro, I be hating how like niggas will be like, they want to talk about health. No, they want to talk about oh, the things that are bad for you, or quote unquote bad for you, and then they will be like, oh, like it invalidates all the good things, right? Like, they'll be like, oh, okay, like this person, oh wow, this person, they were talking all these great things, but then they did this thing, so now, oh, whoa, that, you know what, actually what that should tell you, what that should put into perspective is that everything isn't so black and white. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we really all look, if I run into somebody and they don't smoke, they don't drink, they don't vape, they don't eat junk food, they just drink alkaline water and meditate under the sun all day, okay, I'll hear what they have to say. But at the end of the day, bro, it's really not that serious, honestly. Like, there's nothing, like, first of all, this whole everything in this world is poison. The air you're breathing is poison. The stuff that you're drinking is poison. The freaking water, the water is contaminated, bro. The water is contaminated. The California water is contaminated. Tap water is probably one of the most poisonous things for you. And all the things that you think are bad for you, they're probably really far down the list. Like, there's so many things that you think are good for you that really aren't. So like, that's why I'm like, bro, like, if you really want to get on a pedestal, if you really want to get on a soapbox about anything, then do your research and bring across like an argument of it, of whatever. But most of the stuff that people think are good for them or bad for them is some shit that someone else told you or you heard from somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one of the things, even for me, what makes me even explore these different things is that I'm like, okay, well, for all these people who are having these opinions about this, like, where do they even come from? Like, I always will go into a whole rant reverse engineering any opinion that people have, because I'm learning that most people don't actually have their own opinions. It's just stuff that they're just hearing, you know? So like, to me, I'm just like, I don't know, bro. There's enough bullshit going on that everyone's participating in. I'm going to pick and choose, you know, the things that I choose to indulge in, and I'll use my intuition. I'll use my discernment to figure out whether or not it's good or bad for me, or to what extent or whatever, you know? But yeah, I'm definitely not one of those people where like, I'm going to be sitting here hitting like 20 of these or whatever the fuck. But it's just like, bro, like I'm not an alcoholic, but I'll still take a sip of some beer too. Like, I legitimately have to go get my glasses because now my other contact wants to come out too. I don't know why my eyes are drying out like this. Like, it's literally fully dry. I can't even see. Hold on. Why would you dig a deeping hole instead of trying to get up deeper? If the air is bad and intake nicotine, I'm only doing it because I'm already in a bad situation. It all depends on your surrounding situation. Life not going too well to be sober. Yeah, honestly, hey, bro, you know what I will say is that, like, as you get older, you start to understand how, like, people can really get into certain drugs, because it's kind of like, eventually, like, as you get older, it's kind of like you kind of need certain things to just even, like, cope with just the life that you're in. But what I would definitely say, what we should definitely aspire for, we should definitely aspire for a lifestyle and an environment where it's just all healthy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, like, but within reason. Like, for example, like, if I could grow my own fruit, like if I had my own fruit growing out of my backyard, I would be eating nothing but fruit all the time. Okay, wait, my contact wants to be able to see. Let me see. But you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, like, say, oh, like, dig yourself a deeper hole. Like, I feel like everybody needs, everybody, it's like the best example I was using in The Witcher, when you have like the different potions that you take, right? And there's a toxicity, right? And like you get these stat buffs from taking the different potions. But if you take too much and your toxicity level gets too high, then it starts to lower your health. So you have to manage your toxicity levels, right? So like you can say that's okay. Like if you want to get some dopamine from a vape, or if you want to get some dopamine from some alcohol, whatever, right? So okay, like if you're taking a few hits, taking a few sips, then you get the stat buffs, but like your toxicity levels aren't maxed. But if it gets to the point to where you're like, you can feel, bro, you can feel when you're doing too much something, where it's like, okay, if you're drinking too much, right? It's like, okay, your toxicity levels are getting too high, right? And now it's going to be detrimental. It's going to have the reverse effect, right? But with anything, your body is self-regenerating, self-healing, right? So like if you never let your toxicity levels get too high and max out, and you allow them to lower back to base levels, right? Then your body will recover and regenerate, if not even stronger, right? Like, bro, like that's what was so funny. Like a lot of people in the spiritual community, they're like, oh, there's nothing spiritual about drinking alcohol, right? But it's like, bro, if you drink, like, because, oh, alcohol is a poison to the body, whatever. But like, it's like if you work out and you're breaking down the muscle, if you introduce certain things to your body that make that your body has to like, it like breaks down certain things in your body, and it's not, you're not breaking down your body faster than it's regenerating. It's like training weights. It's like training weights for your body, for your entire ecosystem. And then you want to make sure, obviously, yeah, you want to make sure you stay with your fitness and stay with your health. If somebody is like doing a bunch of drugs and they're not fit, they don't have any healthy habits, then it's an issue, you know. But like, there's plenty of people who like they're alcoholics and then they work out, and then it's just like it just balances out somehow, you know, like the Vikings, like they be drinking all their mead. Balance health and substance. Yeah, you want to balance it. You don't want to like, you know, only a Sith deals in absolutes. You don't want to be too extreme in any one direction, because what I will tell you is that, and this is something that I've even experienced too, like if you try to overcorrect, like you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to be super healthy, I'm going to be super X, Y, or Z, right? And then you don't allow yourself any like leeway to adjust, to adapt to it, you're going to just crash. You're going to end up relapsing back into like, if you want to do like semen retention or something, right? And then you're just like, I'm just going to not do, like if you have the urge, like you have to taper yourself off of that. It's like any drug, it's an addiction. You have to taper yourself off the addiction. Like, it's not to say that you can't go cold turkey, but it really just depends on your environment, honestly. Like, if I'm in an environment that's completely sterilized of any type of stimulation, then like, I'll have no choice but to adapt, and then I will. Really just depends. Another dark truth from thinking when hit is fine sometimes can lead to shit. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that, like with anything, you want to also like, you don't want to do anything too consistently. Like even if you're doing it in moderation, like if you're someone who like, yeah, I drink just a little bit every day or every week or whatever. Like you want to eventually then have like a moment, like you want to have like, resets, like where you just, and this, once again, this isn't just with drugs. This is like with the stuff you drink and the food you eat, because there's all this microplastics, like all your shit is just laced and polluted with all these different things. You need to have fast periods where you just, you don't eat anything, especially the processed shit, or you're only eating healthy stuff and just drinking fluids, and you need to flush out your system. And then you're brand new at that point. But if you never allow your system to get flushed out, it'll just keep building up and building up and building up. You mind telling me what that was all about? What do you mean? You're not exactly, I'm free forgetting this cat can talk, bro. You're not exactly being quiet with your thoughts. What do you know? I only said what Tess needed to hear. Needed? She was letting her emotions cloud her judgment over what was objectively best for the continent. Something she should not do as a princess or as a soldier. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that. I would say that, I mean, she is a princess, so she is going to respond like that. Like, I feel like, you know, one of the things that we as men that like, we like judge women for is that like, it's kind of their job to have a subjective reaction to things. Like if we made all of our decisions and we just neglected our emotions and they were all just based off of what was objectively best for the continent, what was logical, then we're basically bots. We're basically moving like robots. And like the thing is that sometimes this is actually ironic, because I feel like sometimes being subjective is what's objectively best. Because if we were trying to only make objective decisions that was best for the continent, but like we're human beings, we have emotions, right? And that subjectivity isn't factored in, then that can become an objective obstacle that has to be faced as well. So like the fact that, I mean, him not telling her, really, honestly, it's really on Arthur. Like he's sitting here, he's mad at Tess. he's mad at Tessia for how she reacted, but he knew she was gonna react that way. That's why he wasn't telling her in the first place. So really, it's on him to make sure that the next time that he's having a conversation like that, that he closes the fucking door. Like, we need to create a magical sound barrier or something. It was kind of irresponsible with that. So, but the way she responded, honestly, like, we can judge it and things of that nature, but she's kind of supposed to react that way. Like, it's like, oh, that's not how a princess should react. It's like, that's literally the role of the princess, is to like, she's caring a lot about the people and things like that. She's like, you know, well, all the men are like, oh, war. She's like, yo, like, we have to do that and take care of that. So if there's a situation in which the princess is emotionally exposed to a reaction that a princess would react to, that is a signal to Arthur of what he needs to do to prevent that from happening in the future. But once again, if he feels like giving her that information and giving her that tough love was what was necessary, you know, like, I feel like this is one of the situations where even though Arthur isn't the king of this world, because he has that king mindset, right? All of his decisions are like that. Like, he's thinking about, oh, what's best for the continent. I mean, and he's also probably one of the few players who is actually strong enough to make a difference as well. So even if he's not the one in charge, he has to like take that responsibility on as well. I think that's what he enjoyed at the time, but it made him money. And now, oh, wait, was somebody asking a question about? Do the anime watch? Wait, what was even the comment that's being replied to? Did I even go to the original comment? But yeah, what I always say though is that, you know, yeah, I'm always going to be open to making any and all types of content that I've made in the past and things of that nature. It's just a matter of me getting around to it, you know. It's just like just a different time period, different arc, right? Like, we'll be in a webtoon arc and everyone's gonna be like, oh, what happened to the anime reactions, right? Then we're gonna get into the anime reactions and people are like, oh, what happened to the webtoons? What happened to the games? So it's just that, just multifaceted. So, but at the end of the day, still heavenly, doing heavenly things. That's all you gotta worry about. Anime watch on YouTube, but I do though. I posted my soul leveling reactions. It's just that you have to look for them. You have to just go find where my shit is. Like, because most of the time when people are asking, oh, what happened to this X, Y, or Z? It's usually something that I literally did within the week that they asked. Like, so you see, okay, so here's the channel, right? So I reposted the Dragon Ball Super Superhero reaction. So if you missed that, I posted that 5 days ago. And then we have, so these, within this past month, we've been reacting to T-Bait. So you see, we have this, and then it's kind of cropped a little bit. Let me show you. So we have these 3 T-Bait chapters that we did. So this whole month we've been reading T-Bait, and then last month and the 4 months. So for 4 months it was just soul leveling, as you can see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 soul leveling reactions. So, and some of them are just rants, but some of them have more reaction content in them. And then also, for the sake of copyright and just how long that the videos are, you know, some of them, they're not just gonna be like full on reactions. Like, but if you wanted to see certain clips, then just go to the shorts tab. Go to the shorts tab, and I clip a bunch of the reaction moments, stuff like that. Like, some of them, like, I don't even know if I'll make a Kaiju number 8 VOD. In fact, I don't even know if it's even in my editor still, because I was keeping it in my editor, the parts that I did edit. Let me see. If I ended up deleting it, then I'll just like upload them as clips. But I was trying to save some of it. Oh wait, okay, I think I have been saving it. So let me see. If this is the part that I saved from before. So see, once I edited all the clips of the 3 episodes of Kaiju number 8 that I watched, it ended up being 6 minutes long, right? That's from 3 episodes, right? So without me ranting or whatever. So, if I were to upload in order for me to upload a video for Kaiju number 8, I need to react to enough to where I have enough footage for a video. So, and me just not being able to like sit down and binge it because there's not enough episodes or I got other stuff to do. So that's why I do the clips. So if you want to have an idea of what's being worked on, just look no further than the clips. Like, you see, okay, we're working through T-Bait, working through Kaiju number 8, and then we already put out the soul leveling stuff. So that's probably like way further down. And then so like, so as you can see, you can literally see, bro, like I said, all these apps that I have, like Instagram, Twitter, everything like that, you can follow it and see what's happening. So you can see where I was doing soul leveling, right? And then like, after I finished soul leveling, you can see how there was just like, okay, I was just posting shorts to like keep the feed live while I was moving into the next phase of the next content, right? And then we got, like, now that we got Kaiju number 8 and T-Bait up and running, now you see, okay, we're putting those out, pumping those out, right? And then as you can see, I'm just now, after what has it been, a month, getting back into T-bait. So there's some gaps. There's some gaps, but here we are, chapter 181. You know what I'm saying? Get back into the swing of things. Let me see. I could probably link the channel as well. It's just Heavenly Live. But I'm also, there even a reason why I'm not really tripping too much on like, oh, like people finding the content, whatever, is that like once I really get into the swing of things and I can just pump out content consistently, the algorithm will push the videos out. So it's just that niggas want everything to happen all at once, but it's just kind of like, this is a marathon, not a sprint, you know? I have not watched Inuyashiki Last Hero. I don't know, that sounds like some offshoot of the original. I did watch the original though. All right, anyway. Something she should not do as princess or as a soldier. So yes, needed. Tessia shouldn't have said what she said about Ellie, but weren't you the one projecting your frustration with your parents going to war on Tessia? Ooh, damn, the cat calling her out. That's crazy. Hey, no lies told, honestly, no lies told. Like, and Arthur should be able to acknowledge that too. Like, you know, I mean, this isn't even an age thing. I think it's just a human thing. Like, he cares about his parents, right? So he's going to be protective of them. And then he's going to take that attachment that he has and he's going to project that onto other people that he cares about too. No. See, look, wait, hold on. Let's see how self-aware he is. Is he gonna be like, oh, maybe I am being a little bit OD as well? Because we all crash out, you know what I'm saying? Like, you try to say that we don't, but like, honestly, it would be more concerning if you didn't. That would be like, you have no empathy. But like, everyone needs that thing that makes them trip a little bit over. It's healthy. Well, maybe. Yeah, see, I have moments like that too, where I'm like, because I feel like for me, you know, I'm an enlightened being. I meditate on all my actions or whatever, right? So I'd be like, oh, I'm always justified in my choices or whatever. But a lot of times it's not even that I like am not justified in all my choices, but sometimes the choices that you make were educated choices based on the information you had access to. But if somebody comes and they bring more information to you, that doesn't mean that the choices that you made before you had that information were wrong. You were working with what you had, right? And like a lot of times too, as human beings, right, we can be blind to certain vulnerabilities within ourselves that we aren't able to observe from within. We need it to be acknowledged outwardly. So for like in this particular case, right? Because even me, I didn't even think about that. I was with Arthur. I was like, yeah, bro, he's trying to do what's objectively best for the continent, right? But then once again, with him, with the cat, with Sylvie being like, I mean, but you are frustrated about your parents. And so like, cause like, actually, you know what? That's some real shit, because I feel like if 100%, if Arthur wasn't stressed about his parents, he would not have been as frustrated with Tessia. So even though that Tessia situation could have been a situation that had him reasonably frustrated, it was kind of just like the straw that broke the camel's back. It was also like, he's also taking out other frustration that has nothing to do with her onto her as well. And I mean, Tessia is doing the same thing though. They're both doing that. They're both projecting onto each other, but like they're kind of like using each other as emotional punching bags, because this is the nearest target. Because before, Arthur was concerned about Tessia. He was like, the whole point of why he left is like, he wanted to make sure she was safe. But see, now that he has found her and sees that she's okay, now he's shitting on her, like, you know, so. And then before, it was like, he was mad at niggas who were getting in the way of him getting back to find Tessia, right? So, but at least he's able to acknowledge that and reflect on that. Tell me the truth. What were you really training in Ephesus? I was getting stronger, but I took a side course on how to best nag you. Damn, even the cat had its own solo leveling quest to go on. That's crazy. I miss the simpler times, Sylv. You know what's so funny though, but for me, this is what I would have all you guys also aspire to do, is that like, you know, when people be saying stuff like this, oh, I miss the simpler times, right? Well, for one, always, this is why it's good to always be in the present moment, because you don't know how things are going to change in the future. So like, and like, you can look no further than moments in the past that you had. Like when I'm experiencing really good moments, it almost feels nostalgic in that moment, because I know how cherish those moments, right? It's like, we can be in this moment that we're in right now, right? Thinking about, oh man, I miss the simpler times. But then we could be in the simple times now, right? Imagine, bro, what if these are the good times that we're in right now? And we're too busy reflecting on the good times that past, that by the time we can appreciate this moment, it will have been way further in the future. and we just can't appreciate or see it as the good times because we're in it, right? Yeah, so like, and to be fair, being in a time of war is definitely like a time where there is no war is definitely a better time. But you know, something that I've actually peeped as I've gotten older is that there's always war. Just because you're not involved in the war doesn't mean a war isn't going on, right? And so it might have seemed like it was peaceful to you because you just weren't involved. You just weren't aware of what was happening, right? But once you reach a certain level of enlightenment, of growth, of awareness, you're going to realize that there's a constant war being fought just for mankind, right? It always will be, you know, always will be fought. Like, one of the things that I noticed, a pattern that I noticed when I would study these different cultures, different religions, different mythologies, however you like to describe it, is a reoccurring character in several different belief systems is there being a god of war, right? And the god of war is a entity that we all invoke, and it being a god, it basically tells you that even war is divine. I know that doesn't sound politically correct in the sense that, like, you know, we're all about world peace, all about war, but like, or having no war, right? But just this idea that, like, if we were to achieve it, like for me, this is what I even learned in, like, once again, doing a lot of my meditations and things like that this past year, right? Is like, if you want to take the Buddhist approach, if you want to take the pacifistic approach, right? And, you know, you would just self-immolate, basically. It's just like, okay, I'm not going to actually fight back. I'm just going to preach peace and turn the other cheek or whatever, right? And like, that's admirable. That's an admirable choice to make. And we should all aspire to be like that. But the reality of the situation is that we as humans, we are all gods of war. Like, our literal life is a battle, is a fight for enlightenment, basically. But like, in order to do it, you have to play the game. There is only one God and to always have a way through. Well, and that's the thing too, is that like, there is only one God. All these other gods are just, they're just embodiments. They're just like categorized fractal sources of the original source. That's no different of me saying like, oh, I'm heavenly and you're Carlito, right? It's like, well, technically there is no heavenly, there is no Carlito. There's just only one being. But we classify and categorize our individual, our ego selves to be able to perceive that individuality, that classification, right? So all these other different like gods, they just represent different aspects of our human condition, our personality, and things of that nature, right? But just this idea that, and this is once again, now I want to understand why there were like holy wars and all of these things. And the reality of the situation is that war is just a part of life. There always will be war. That doesn't mean that we don't fight war. In fact, that's actually what's ironic, is being a god of war isn't somebody who instigates war. It's somebody who fights to end war. But like, in order to end war, you have to fight back, right? Like, if you are all just, taking the Buddhist approach, they would just eradicate us. They would just wipe us off the face of the earth, which there's nothing, once again, there's nothing wrong with surrendering and allowing yourself to get wiped out. But the reality of the situation is we want to live. We don't want to die. Like, and so like, and that's why I'm saying this goes back into even the thing we were talking about before of being like, there's an ideal pure way of being. And then there's the reality of where we're at on that journey, like not just as individuals, but as a collective. And this is, once again, this was the same dilemma. This is why I resonated so much with the Attack on Titan ending. This is the same dilemma that Eren was facing when he came in contact with the coordinate. He was receiving that same dilemma, right? Do I just let Eldia get wiped off the face of the earth, and then once that happens, everyone else will live in peace, right? Or do I rumble and make the selfish decision to take out everybody else, and then there will be peace for my people, and then this cycle is going to eventually complete again anyways? So there really isn't like a right or wrong choice, right? Like, whether you choose to fight or whether you choose to be a passive participant, like sometimes choosing not to participate is a form of fighting, right? Which I feel like, I don't know, I feel like even for me, I will, like, what I will say is that I will preach my stances or my opinions on things, but that doesn't mean that I'm forcing other people to have those same values and care about those same things. It just means that that's just how we choose to categorize ourselves. Like, I could be somebody who I'm like, okay, I'm pro-Palestine, right? And then if somebody doesn't want to be pro-Palestine, that doesn't mean I'm going to be like, oh, you're a deplorable human being, da 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 da, or whatever, right? It's like, well, no, you just choose to not care. That's fine. But then once again, the reason why I choose to even take certain stances is so that I can have a narrative or a reason behind my choices and my decisions that is communicated to other people, to the point where it's like, okay, well, if you're disagreeing with anything that I do, you're disagreeing with this stance. And if you're disagreeing with this stance, then you also need to take your stance in order to combat it. If you don't want to take a stance, that's fine. That just means that you're just not putting your stake in the game. And for a lot of people, for most people, I've learned it's like that. Most people, they don't actually have a stake in the game, in the sense that nobody usually has a stance that they come from. They just want to, they want to benefit from a lot of people want to benefit from the popular stance that is taken, and then kind of hide behind that group without having taken a stance on their own, which is fine. That just makes you a bystander. This makes you an audience member, right? You just don't really have a say in anything, right? Like, you can't really have a say in what anybody's doing if you don't have your own stance. Like, you don't have your own opinion. If you're just regurgitating what other people are saying. And that's, once again, like some of the conversations we've been having here, where it's just like, someone's like, oh, you shouldn't do this or whatever. It's just like, okay, like, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but like, where did you get that information? Like, where did you formulate that stance? Was it just something that you heard? And that's just like the common opinion to have. And like, even if it sounds right, without you having really looked into it, you still have to take that into consideration, right? Because there's definitely certain things for me where I'm like, I don't, like, this is a comment, this is a quote to run with from the stream, right? Is that if I don't have enough information on something, then I'm just not even going to speak on it. Even if it seems like something that I disagree with, or if I do choose to speak on it, if I care enough to speak on it, I now am surrendering myself. I'm now volunteering myself to be contested, which might result in me having to go and get more information. Like, I've had some online debates with certain people where I was speaking from a stance that I had based on the information that I had compiled, right? I compiled enough information to have a firm stance, but then that stance was starting to get challenged to the point to where it's like, okay, like, if I'm going to challenge it past this point, I do need to actually go and do more research. And that doesn't mean that like, I didn't already had done enough research to form a stance to begin with, but it just means that, okay, if I'm going to have it contested to this level, because like, honestly, there's a lot of things that I believe or that I think that I have not really done extensive research on, but nobody else has done extensive research contrary to that stance for it to be necessary. So a lot of times it's not even me saying that I'm right, but it's me saying that if you disagree, then bring enough evidence into the conversation that forces me to have to challenge that stance, if that makes any sense. But once again, I challenge all stances all the time anyway. I'm always in a state of, no matter how much I think I know, I could have no clue what I'm actually talking about at any given moment, and I'm perfectly fine with completely switching my stance or my opinion or perspective on something if I'm getting new information. Sometimes you actually have to invite people to disagree with you so they can offer you the information that they disagree with so that you can educate yourself. Sometimes in order to learn, you have to go out and say some stupid shit to trigger somebody who disagrees so that they can offer you that information, you know? But then when that happens, you have to be receptive to that. You can't let your ego block you from learning and from acquiring new perspectives and information. You know, like even with you guys, a lot of times I'll ask, oh, okay, what do you think about this thing? And if you give an opinion or if you give information that is contrary to how I feel, it might not change my opinion, but I still want to I want to factor that in. And then like, sometimes I'll be like, okay, after hearing that, no, actually this is still how I feel, or like, maybe it'll adapt. I mean, for those of you who follow me on live streams all the time, I feel like I'm changing my opinion all the time on things when I'm like more informed about it. In fact, I feel like most of my strongest opinions or strongest beliefs that I have were like not my original opinions. Like it was usually like I changed my mind. And if I change my mind on something, and as stubborn as I am, if I was convinced enough to change my mind on something, then I'm going to be even more confident in that because I had my mind changed to believe it. So now it's going to take even more convincing to convert me back, right? Like, people chase popularity when life comes to you, when you take a chance on yourself. Yeah, I feel like chasing popularity is like, because popularity is like, it's not that popularity isn't important at all, but like it's an extension of something else. Like for a lot of people, the kind of popularity they're thinking about of chasing is usually they're grifting off of something that is already popular, and they just want to leech off of that popularity. But the kind of popularity you should aspire for is popularity that is organic to you, which is true popularity, right? Like it's like you're popular for you rather than for what you're participating in. And that's not something that can be taken away, right? So like to me, that's why it's so funny when people talk about a creator falling off or whatever. I feel like if I'm even able to fall off, then that just means that I was never on to begin with, because it's like that shouldn't even be possible, right? Like for me, the way that I look at it, and I've always felt this way, right? Like I aspire to create a community of true supporters, of true fans, and that's a lifelong contract. So if people only care about me at a certain point and then they stop caring, or say, oh, I miss the old Heavenly, right? Like if you don't still resonate with my growth, well then that's like if you miss the old Heavenly, that means you've been left behind. That means that you haven't grown with us. You haven't grown with me, and you're still, and that's fine. If you miss the old Heavenly, you can exist in that old timeline and be there. But at the end of the day, all the creators that you watch are going to eventually grow. They're going to change. They're going to evolve. And they're not always going to make the same type of content or have the same views or look the same or talk the same. And that's just part of being human. That's normal. That's supposed to be the case. I would hope that you all aspire to be that way too, right? You shouldn't be doing the same shit you were doing 5-10 years ago. That means that you've been stuck in the same spot and you haven't grown. So you should want to go along on that journey, right? And that's more than just like, oh, okay, well this popular video game is popular anime. Like, bro, like I didn't make the anime. I didn't make the video game. That shit. So that's not even my shit. It's not even my shit. That ain't got nothing to do with me. My shit is me being there and talking over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but I can fully understand and get with like, oh, well, like, cause even for me, like there's certain creators I would only want to watch if they're making a specific type of content. But if they decided they want to switch up and do something else, I'm not going to, that just goes to show, okay, they're going and do their own thing. Like, bro, like, Nick A30, right? He makes Fortnite content, right? And when I used to watch him, he made Last of Us content, right? I really fucked heavy with his Last of Us content. It wasn't as popular as his Overwatch or his Fortnite content. And I'm just not into Fortnite like that. So I don't watch his Fortnite videos, but I'm not gonna be like, well, I mean, I do miss the old Nick A30. I'm not actually gonna hold you. Like, in fact, back then too, he wasn't as like, he would like Last of Us is a more like adult friendly game. So he wasn't as, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, oh, I can't curse or I can't like as family friendly or whatever. But if playing Fortnite is getting him that bread, it's getting him that you know, that is helping his career or whatever, and he's passionate about it, and like, and I've seen some clips from him, and like, honestly, this man is a living meme. It's actually hilarious. So, so yeah, I support that. But like, I don't know. But I guess even for me, like, if I'm saying that, like, that's even me projecting, and me being like, oh, if someone says they miss the old Heavenly, like, I don't need to take offense to that. Like, you know, that could just be like, you know, okay, like, miss the old Heavenly. I miss the old I don't know, creators that I used to watch as well. So there's nothing wrong with that. So I mean, yeah, I guess I've solved my own problem by explaining it, you know, of like, because honestly, like, what I will say is that, like, when we look back to all of the stuff that has came up to this point, I mean, that's the reason why we're here in the first place. But I guess the reason why I like when I see those comments of what makes me speak out on it is that I don't want it to get to a point where we're always only ever talking about old shit. Like, I can imagine if because back when I was in like, I don't know, 2018 making content, I might have got comments every once in a while. Oh, I miss when you do this X, Y, or Z. But like, we're also in the moment of just like what's happening, right? And I mean, think about all the stuff that we've done that I was like, oh, that was so dope. And it's just like, well, it was dope because it had never been done before. So we should aspire to do more things that haven't been done before. And also, I think the unique perspective that we're all in, like I'm in this with you guys, right? Is that it's one thing when like I initially started blowing up on everything, and before it's like no one even knew who I was, right? So now we're in an interesting phase where it's like we're working towards new things, developing new things, but we also have the memory of like we've already established a lot already getting up to this point, right? It's kind of like when people are watching Naruto or Dragon Ball Z, you're just watching Naruto and Dragon Ball Z. But now you're watching Jujutsu Kaisen and you're making Naruto references and Bleach references. And I'm the biggest like proponent of this. I'm always making references to other anime that I grew up watching because that is really like the foundation, honestly. So yeah, honestly, like to me that I can't even say this is more of me just being like, I basically defeated myself in my own argument because I basically, by explaining all that, kind of just justified the comments, you know? I don't know, we're just got the mood to watch Blue Exorcist. So funny as fuck, keep it real, and I still learn from Old Heavenly definitely isn't a thing. Yeah, I mean, like, I was literally, it was even making me think about like this video that Corey Kenshin made where he was saying like, man, hanging out with all these up and coming, more recent streamers, he's like, bro, I'm just not bouncing off the walls like that. Like, I reposted this clip of me reacting to Demon Slayer from a couple of years ago, right? Like 3 years ago. Me reacting to when Tengen was fighting against that other guy, whatever, right? And I was just watching my reaction where I was like, yo, the buildings are blowing up. And I'm like, damn, like I was really animated at that point, right? And also it's just a different phase of my life too. I feel like depending on my environment, my mood might be different, but I definitely noticed that as you get older and you go through more shit, you do kind of mellow out a little bit. But I also feel like it just really depends. Like there will be those moments because like I've definitely had some moments where I was watching something. Like I was watching a couple of movies these past few weeks that definitely had me be like, oh shit. Like bro, like when I was watching Dune 2, like there were some moments I was like, yo. So I think really what it is that we've already like so much time has passed that we have already covered so much stuff that like now it's like we can cumulatively reference back to so much, but like all that stuff happened over the course of a decade, you know what I mean? Like so I just have to accept. I honestly should take it as a compliment, really. I just have to accept that we're just in an arc in which we've done so much that that's always going to be factored in the conversation. Like too bright, actually. Okay, I don't want it to like shine directly in my face. Stuck in the past. But yeah, I mean, I still feel like even though, and I guess that's just, once again, that's just something that I've had to deal with of like, no matter how many years pass, no matter how much content I make, I'm always gonna have new people coming in. What happened to the old YouTube channel? Or I remember you when you did the Dragon Ball reactions. Whatever. That's just part of the environment at this point. But I still think I will always continue to be like, all right, yeah, okay, you like that old shit? Well, here's the new shit that we doing now, you know? I literally just got a comment today. I need to stop taking them personally where people they think like it's funny. I think it's funny that like, oh, like where did you go? Haha. Like I didn't go anywhere. I'm living in the same house. I'm making the same content. Most of my accounts are the same you know what I'm saying? I didn't go anywhere. So just because like, I think what a lot of people are, well, what I'm realizing, a lot of people, they've never actually made their own decisions like for themselves. They've kind of just been a victim to an algorithm, right? So for a lot of people, it's like, oh man, I haven't seen you in so long. It's like, that means that you've been a bot this whole time. Because if you were a true member of the community, if you were truly resonating with the content, because I have like the fact that like my old channel got deleted, and with that old channel had all my subscriptions on there, right? But like there's certain creators that I just remember, and then I will just search them up and see like, and like there will be sometimes weeks will go by, maybe even months, when I haven't watched a certain creator's content. But I will still eventually remember, and I'll go back and search it up. And then when I go back and search it up, I'm not thinking, oh man, what happened to them? Like, I'm just thinking, I just personally forgot because I have my own life and there's just my own things or whatever going on. But, yeah, I don't know. That's the way my brain rationalizes that. Let's see, let me find different music, because like, whatever's been playing, I'm just getting tired of it. Like, I feel like I outgrow my playlist too quickly sometimes, where I'm just like, what is any of this shit now? All right. What do I think of gaming with AI in the future? What, I mean, we already be fighting against AI in games. What does that mean? What I will say is I like to see if AI makes NPC behavior smarter, right? Like, I want to be interacting with AI like they're actual niggas, like, and they actually like, I don't know, bro. Wait, what if we make the AI too smart and the GTA 6 NPCs actually start taking over GTA Online and overthrowing the world? I don't know. You never know, bro. Like that might actually happen, because there's this webtoon I was reading, and once again, this is why I read these, bro. It gives you research for the future or for like the time that we're in. But there was this online game that they made. It was like a SAO type game, but the game was like, it automatically learns and patches itself. It's like the game moderates itself. It like, and it got to a point where, almost like an SAO, the developers lost control of the game, and the main character is stuck in the game, and they can't get him out because the game glitched for whatever reason and decided like that he couldn't log out, but only him. Like, he's like a glitch character basically that like the algorithm doesn't know what to do with, and his mere existence is fucking with the entire system of the game, because all it takes is one bug character that the game has to patch or has to adjust to, and then it affects the whole game. Like, there's a lot of series that are like that, honestly. Like Hardcore Level and Warrior talks about that sometimes. But yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, even in real life, like, I honestly, bro, I be like low-key thinking this sometimes. I'll be on an app, like, bro, like I'll literally be on TikTok, right? And I'll find some exploit, and then it's like, why is it the moment I find some exploit, they'll fix it in like a couple of days? It's like, bro, these apps, Instagram's the same way. It's like they're designed, like these apps don't want you to actually succeed, because it's like at least not too well, right? It's like if you start to like succeed in too much something, then they'll call it spam, or they'll be like, oh, you're whatever. They'll just come up with some shit and like they'll start taking features away. I'm like, bro, I can't, this is literally why I'm here. Like, it's like y'all don't want me to use your site, you know? But yeah, like, that's honestly why I feel like even with my YouTube channel, like original YouTube channel get taken down, I found an exploit, right? Because I was able to make my content in a way in which the YouTube copyright system wasn't claiming my videos. So what do? They manually took that shit down. They're like, no, like, nigga found a way. He found a money glitch, bro. That's all I've ever done. I've never really been grinding at anything. I'm just looking for different money glitches and then exploiting them, right? That's where the grinding comes in. The grinding comes in looking for the exploits. Like, I literally found a TikTok glitch. I found a TikTok money glitch like a couple of days ago. And the thing is, actually, they didn't completely flag it, but I can see that they have systems in place to discourage it. I would just have to be more creative with it. But once again, all it takes is like one day, all it takes is that, like I said, like that black flash moment where like just all of my different, yeah, work smarter, not harder. The thing is that working smarter, not harder, it could take longer. It could actually take longer than working harder, but it will give you a more lucrative result because you are preserving your energy. But yeah, like sometimes working smarter over working harder, it could just take. And so if you're working smarter, not harder, what does that mean? Honestly, wait, hold on. If you're working, I'm actually like, this soundtrack is just doing the most, honestly. I don't even know what to switch over to, but. Which is so funny because usually I'd be wanting the shit to be like crazy, but like Sometimes I'm talking and I'm like, this is doing the most. So if you're working smarter, not harder, what does that mean? That means you're spending less time working and more time learning. And that in and of itself is work. So like I said, this past year, I've mainly just been reading, right? And to somebody else who doesn't read, to them, it just looks like I'm doing nothing. But it's like, nah, bro, I'm doing research so that when the opportunity comes to capitalize, I'm ready, right? I've been preparing for that. And I feel like education is the best grinding you can truly do, right? Like, when people think of the grind, they're thinking of making money. But like, money comes and money goes. But if you can grind in a way in which you're actually just becoming a smarter, more competent individual, then you can just walk in the room and pick shit up, you know? Yeah, they institutionalize themselves instead of being themselves. And once again, to be fair, it's like, it's kind of like it's a trick. Like I figured this out myself of like, everything, especially in this, like, we're not even just in a capitalistic country, but just in the world that we're in, it's player versus player, it's competitive, right? So with that being said, everything is designed to remove the competition. And the best way that you remove the competition is by not even letting them know that there is a competition, or making them redirect that desire to compete in a direction that doesn't actually compete at all. Like, it doesn't actually even make them a contender for competition, right? Because, you know, for so many people, instead of like trying to level themselves up at like on an intrinsic level, because once again, this is why I try to like, not like convert any of y'all, but like I talk about spirituality, because that's just like it's a science that involves expanding your consciousness, expanding yourself in a way that can't be measured by material things. Because if you get too caught up in that, it's like, that's how you really like run yourself like dead, right? Because like, if you do a bunch of grinding, like you make a bunch of money, then you buy that thing and that thing is stolen from you, right? It's like, well, okay, what do you have left to show for it after that, right? Like, what if you value all your growth in the physical thing that you have or did, that's the thing that can be very easily tainted or taken from you or whatever, right? That makes it really easy for the actual players to fuck with, because they're gonna find what your Achilles heel is that you put all your energy, all your investment into, and then just fuck it up, right? But like, if you just on like at your core are just you know, a powerful S grade hunter, and nobody can really do anything to you. In fact, people trying to do anything to you is really what you want, because that's going to be more competition for you to overcome and grow from. It's going to just be more character development. But what was even the original thing I was saying though? Oh yeah, so honestly, and this is so funny too, this was that people were literally making a meme out of, and I was starting to think this is intentional, of like with Ty Lopez, and he was like, oh, you know what, how I got this rich knowledge reading books, and people were like, oh, haha, like it's all a joke. But it's just like, bro, like that actually is what it is though. Like, he's like, oh, I read a book a day, and it's like, niggas will make fun of him but never have even opened a book, like. So honestly, that's what I would definitely say, like, is like, and for me, it's like, I just be reading, like I say, you're reading webtoons. I feel like the stuff you read, in fact, I would actually say sometimes it's even safer to read fiction than nonfiction, because then you're not taking the information too seriously. You're just really trying to read between the lines. You're just trying to get an idea of the way that the author thinks. You're really just trying to absorb the lessons, absorb the philosophy. And that can be extracted from anything. So that's why I like reading manhwa over just like the kind of like reading that I do. Like, I'm not reading like books on how to get rich or whatever the fuck. I'm reading books that like, or I'm reading manhwa. I like reading things that show like the human condition and like certain psychological interactions and like what like humans do in certain situations, or like how do different people think? Why do they think this way? How does their environment affect that? There's all these different things. And this isn't like all information that I'm gonna like just raw data draw from at any given point. But the more that I extract that information, the more that I expose myself to that information, it becomes like intuitive knowledge. It becomes something that I just passively know, and it'll make itself relevant if the situation arises in which that information is relevant. Like if I read a series about, like if I'm watching Attack on Titan and I didn't have to deal with the rumbling and go through all that, but seeing all these characters experience that and whatever, right? It's like I've downloaded that story. I've downloaded those characters like and how they interacted. I downloaded all that information, right? So yeah, so like I feel like that's what's most important. Like even in like the material world and your successes and your experiences, understand that the most valuable thing that you took from that is the experience in of itself and not the reward necessarily. So if you made a lot of money doing something, the true reward wasn't the money that you made, but what you learned or what you experienced, or like the kind of person that you became at the end of that. And that's just who you are now. And like you can take that and to go anything else. It's like if you ran it up once, you can run it up again and again and again and again. In fact, the first time you ran it up, like you're probably twice the person that they were, right? You probably run it up twice as hard as that previous run up, and it might take twice as much time. But the thing is that you're able to endure that time because you have the wisdom of having done it before, that you know what you're doing. You trust the process. Why do I look different in the glasses? I mean, they're big rims. I don't know. All right, anyway. Let's see what they're doing with this gray. Oh, we're going back to flashback to gray again. I wasn't expecting that. Damn, they just literally just switched over to that in like the next panel. Like, yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, bro, like, wasn't he just Arthur like 2 seconds ago? Like, am I tripping? I don't believe I'm the best person to help with your key. Though your key pool may be lacking compared to other children your age, there's still plenty of time for that to change. However, as a general life lesson, if you find yourself lacking in resources, wait, before I even read more, bro, this is exactly why I leave my rants in, because like, even without me having scrolled, like a lot of times I'll extract an entire rant out of one thing that I read, but it's like, it's relevant though. It's relevant in the grand scheme of things. Because why does it sound like this chick is about to say to him exactly what I just said before even scrolling? So let's see. As a general life lesson, if you find yourself lacking in resources, save what you have for when you need it most. Okay, well, that's not what I was talking about, but that's some real shit too. But let me see, hold on. Let's break that down. If you find yourself lacking in resources, save what you have when you need it most. I totally agree with that though, for sure. Like sometimes you have to just like be like, okay, like I'm going to save what I have when I need it most. Like I'm going to like that's actually that is literally work smart, not harder. Like if there's something to where it's not that I couldn't do it, but I see how much work that it takes to do it, and then I know how much that my resources are worth. Like for example, this economy, right? Like since we're in an economy right now where everything is just like fucked, I'm not even going to play that game, bro. I'm not even going to try to get rich in a collapsing economy. But what I will do is I will figure out how to capitalize on the economy when it goes up again, and I'll prepare for that. So I'll spend time preparing for it, for the economy to reset, or like, because the thing is, the funny thing about money, right, is that money is more social than physical, right? In the sense that that value is always going to exist, because we as humans are the ones that assign value to money. So if money is losing value, the value isn't just falling through a void somewhere, it's being transferred somewhere else. So if something starts to plummet in value, that means it's starting to transfer somewhere else. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to wait to see where this transfer of energy, this transfer of power, this transfer of value is going. And instead of me sitting here like with a bucket out trying to catch droplets, I'll take my bucket to wherever the river, wherever the water is going to accumulate and pour into, and I'll just set the bucket there. So while everybody's exhausting themselves trying to catch a bunch of drops in their bucket, I'm sitting here at the end of the river just filling it to the brim without having to move around at all. And so that's the way I look at it. It was like, if something becomes too hard to do, I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to wait until it's easier, but I'm going to prepare myself though for when it is easier, to where that when it is easy, it is easy. Like I was literally just talking about this when it came to like Instagram has like their Reels bonus, right? And then they take it away sometimes. And so for me, I'm like, instead of me being like, oh, I'm gonna wait until they monetize Instagram to start posting, I'll just start posting on there for free and just seeing the supply and demand, just seeing that there's just like high traffic on that site or whatever, right? And then when they come out with a monetization feature, I can capitalize on it. I mean, in the same way that's how I honestly with my YouTube channel is like, I was already making videos for years before the channel blew up, because it was like there was nothing to blow up on, right? And so for me, I'm like, okay, that's like, if it took me 5 years for blowing up the first time, I can wait 10 years to blow up the second time. Like that's just that's That's just like staying ready. Like you have somebody like a lot of these people who are becoming more relevant with the streaming world that like hasn't been relevant at all for the longest time, but they were still on their grind and doing shit. Sailor Moon? What's the guy like that? The value of money is going to AI. I mean, no, the value of money, those are like two completely different metrics. But what I will say is that AI will control where like certain value is going in sense of the supply and demand of who has access. It's going to come down to whoever has access to the more advanced AI is going to be the one who can provide the more value in that respect. So it's not necessarily that it's going to AI. It's more of like going to the sources that, I mean, that's always been the case anyway. Like AI isn't like a new thing. It's just that people are starting to find out about it because it's becoming more, it's starting to have more influence. But yeah, that's a perfect example though. Like I feel like for me, all the things that I've been working on this past year has been me being like, I'm really trying to observe the trends, right? Like monitor the graphs and be like, okay, like, because honestly, a lot of times at the end of the day, the smartest things you can do isn't even necessarily with being first to something or coming up with the most unique, next most innovative idea. It really just comes down to just like participation, keeping your finger on the pulse, and then just paying attention. Like when I was first getting into crypto and all that, right? It's like, it's actually funny when it comes to something like day trading. People are like, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. Da, da. First of all, everything's a pyramid scheme. So it's not a matter of whether it's a pyramid scheme or not. It's a matter of whether you know how to use the pyramid scheme or not to your advantage. So it's kind of like anything, if you actually sit down and learn it and put enough time and energy into it, like there's a very straightforward process to it, right? So for me, it's like, I don't need to be like so ambitious. Like I need to beat everybody else. It's like, I'll just, we'll just hang around, see what's good. And then eventually by time you start to really like, this is what I've peeped is then when you really start to succeed or be ahead of anything, it's not even that you were the first to do it. It's more like you were the last one to still be doing it. It was like, oh, a bunch of people were doing this. And then, I was like one of 800 people doing it. And then, those other 799 people, maybe they were doing it, trying to get something out of it, and it wasn't really yielding any result. And then maybe I wasn't anything out of it, but maybe I just liked doing it. So I just kept doing it, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, look, Heavenly's the only one doing this. It's like, actually, I was doing this with like 800 other niggas, but like nobody cared, so they all left. And now suddenly it's a big deal because only one person is doing it, even though it's just like, I feel like that's how a lot of things are, honestly. Like, it's not about being first, it's about being last and being patient enough to be last, like, because once everybody's on something, then you're too late, bro. You're not capitalizing on shit. Like once you hear people talking about, oh, we need to invest in Bitcoin, it's like, you probably too late at that point. Like if you knew about Bitcoin before niggas knew about Bitcoin, that's when you probably really had the investment. But once niggas start talking about something on Twitter, you're probably too late, bro. And so instead of trying to even run that race, try to figure out what is popping off. Like, bro, like, for example, we were easily first to the soul leveling. We're first to the T-bait stuff, right? Like, in fact, when I went to Anime Expo and saw a T-bait poster, I was like, yo, niggas don't know about T-bait? Like, what? That's actually kind of crazy. So, yeah, so like, that's why it's funny of like, when people started getting into the soul leveling when the anime came out, I was like, oh, yeah, welcome. Look, we've been here for a minute, We've been past that shit. Like, we ain't even that hype for it because we pre-hype, Save what you have for when you need it most. Thank you, Headmaster Wilbeck. I understand, I think. Speaking of when we need it most, it's come to my attention that we received some generous anonymous donations recently, almost out of thin air. Is that so? But we will no longer be accepting donations. What? Why? Are you closing the orphanage? Not at all. The government has taken an interest in us and will be funding our operations. You know what? That's what I need. Like, that's what I need, government funding. If I get government funding, you know what? It's so funny. Like, interestingly enough, people always talk about, oh man, these celebrities, they're supporting Israel instead of Palestine because they're getting paid off by the government and shit like that, right? Honestly, if I'm getting paid off by the government, bro, look, niggas gotta pay their bills. Like, first of all, I'm not really expecting no celebrity to be the one to save us anyway. So like, if they want to go ahead and say whatever the fuck they got to do to pay their bills, like, that don't mean that we got to support it either. It's just like, whatever is they need to invest in the winning team, right? If supporting the right side is what gets you ahead, if supporting the side with the most money, whatever gets you ahead, you know, because like I'll be the type of nigga where I'll be like, if I was like, if I'm a Hollywood, like I'm a Hollywood talking head, right? And they're like, okay, like to be in Hollywood, you gotta be pro-Israel instead of Palestine, right? I'll be the type of nigga to be like, yeah, pro-Israel, take my money and then go support Palestine anyway. Like, it don't really matter. Like, I'll say whatever these niggas want me to say. That ain't about to change how I move. You know what I'm saying? That's nobody's business but mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, oh, like, get the government funding, and we'll say whatever they want us to say, because we about to take that funding and start a coup d'etat on the low. Like, we'll be a Trojan horse. Like, what are you talking about, bro? We don't need to worry about money anymore. You understand, right? Did we go too far? Normally be impossible, but again, it's the sorceress we're talking about. That's a relief. Thanks for telling me. Wait, Gray, before you go, how is Cecilia getting along with you and Nico? Well, besides her little accidents, I'd say we're slowly getting through to her. She hasn't said a word to you two, has she? Nope, not a single one. Very well. I really do hope you'll keep trying to break her out of her shell. If anyone can do it, it's you two. Why are you pushing so hard for us to be friends with Cecilia? That, my child, is a story I'm hoping she'll tell you herself. I mean, she looks normal enough, but everyone's scared of her because of those accidents. Not that Nico and I are scared of her or anything, but, you know, you kids have been sent to the infirmary because of her. So I just thought it'd be better to know more to help her. No matter how much you learn about Cecilia, she is the one who knows herself best. And if she doesn't, she will learn on her own. Your job isn't to help her, it's to be her friend. When she needs you, she'll tell you, understand? Yes, mother, I'll keep that in mind. That's some real advice, honestly. And that can go for anybody that you know, right? Like, I feel like for a lot of people, they want to control how other people that they care about react to certain things or how they act because they care. But like, if you really care about somebody, the best thing you can do is, like I said, just be their friend. You don't necessarily need to like force people to agree with you or to like think the same way as you. Because what I've kind of found to learn is that like if you and another person, like whether it be a sibling, parent, friend, or whatever, if y'all are really on the same wavelength, if y'all are really on the same life path, then by you just supporting that person and just you know, to continue to just like shine authentically, then that shit will just work itself out. Like you kind of have sometimes just to trust people. You just put your faith in like, okay, if you really fuck with these people, then like you got to be able to like, why do you fuck with them? Like, you shouldn't fuck with people you don't trust. So just kind of have to come down to like placing your faith in other individuals. Like that's how I would with you guys. I'd be like, you know what? I trust these niggas to put me on to shit that's gonna be good, and y'all have yet to fail me. So, and if you did, I probably dropped it and forgot anyway. So I'll only remember the good. All right, since we've been ranting for almost 2 hours, let's make it a point to really power through this last chapter, and then we'll be solid. Gray, come play tag with us. I'm going to tag you. Oh yeah? Got you. Oh shit, he weaving, look. You're going to have to try harder than, gotcha. Oof. Nice try, kids, but you guys are 5 years too young to beat the mighty Gray. Not fair. Yeah, you're too fast. Damn, so he been an orphan, bro. This ain't new. This nigga never had parents. So technically the parents he has now are his first parents. Like, you know? That would kind of justify why he's so attached to them. Like, he don't even know what it's like to have parents. Or like a sister. Well, I guess he had orphan siblings, but only weaklings complain when faced with defeat. That's some real shit right there. Now off you go. My heroic powers are needed elsewhere. We'll get you next time, Gray. Damn, so is this new season gonna just have a frequent alternation between timelines? Because I thought that first flashback was just gonna be to set the standard and then we were gonna get back to the modern time, but this wasn't even like a flashback chapter. Well, actually, this chapter is starting out as flashback, but they just switched back straight into flashback in that last chapter. So it must have some type of narrative. See, bro, this is also why I like the series. It's like, and my rants be relevant because this series isn't really about the plot. It's really about Arthur and his own, like, him working out his own lessons, his own life lessons, both in his past life and in his current one, because that's what they're focusing more on. Like, otherwise, visiting his past life wouldn't even be relevant to the main story. But like, the story felt important for us to know where Art is coming from, so that we're more educated on where, like, his stance when making certain decisions. Yeah, it's more of a setup. But the fact that it's being set up, it means that this past storyline is more than just like how a lot of isekai are, where it's just like, oh no, we're in this world now. It's just a fish out of water story. It's like, well, no. But the thing is that, are we getting this flashback, or is he remembering, like, is he getting his memories back? I'm still not sure to what extent Arthur's memories are of his past life and how that affects his current life. Like, are these memories coming back to him? Is he just reflecting? I don't know. The house has been falling apart more than usual lately. Headmaster Wilbeck must be too busy with her other tasks. I should help her do another run through of the home. The mighty Gray has arrived. Yeah, close the door behind you. You're into knitting now? What is this? Let's see. Let's try. Sound. I was like, this is a quiet song? All right, I'm gonna turn it up. Watch it get super loud later. Okay. Hey? Oh shit. What the heck was that? Never underestimate the power of knitting. Bro knitted a shot glove? Pretty neat, right? Oh damn. This is where the advances in technology came from. After our run-ins with those thugs, I started researching ways to defend myself. I compiled some notes of key conducting materials and voila. The palm is made of microfibers that can conduct key to a certain degree. That's what I need, bro. I need a key conductor. What? That's also, honestly, I genuinely feel like vapes are key conductors, bro. Because it's metallic, right? And we are electric beings, and we conduct metal. It conducts electricity. So I'm not saying that vapes are good for you, but what I will say is that they might be conductors, right? And with use in moderation, you could actually probably use the metals in here to generate key. You know? That's how I look at it. They even have astrological, these ones have astrological information on one. Like this one is Libra. So, yeah, honestly, I don't fully understand the vapes, but there's more to these than meet the eye, bro. And that's why I even hit them, is that like, there's something going on. Like, there's something scientifically happening with these. Like, they exist for a reason. Everything exists for a reason, right? So I want to understand why. So I'm making myself a human guinea pig to understand. Like, I used the perfect example. I was ranting about this on TikTok Live, where when Naruto first developed his Rasen Shuriken and used against Kakuzu and it damaged his arm, and Tsunade told him, don't use that again, because you might not even be able to use ninjutsu again if you use it. Like, it's a powerful attack, but the effect that it has on your body is like too detrimental. So then when he uses it again, when he's fighting against pain, and then they're like, yo, you can't use that attack. Like, that ability is just not useful. It's just gonna take you out. And then he threw it, right? So, hey, okay, if he throws it, then it's not an issue anymore, right? So that's how I look at it. Like, they're like this might be like a Rasen Shuriken that if I learn how to throw it, maybe I already have, who knows? It could be one of those things to where it's equally as beneficial as it is detrimental if I figure out the proper use of it, right? And I'm not to say, some things proper use could just be not using it at all, but sometimes you need to use something you're not supposed to use and then find out why you're not supposed to use it to learn why you don't use it. Like, bro, like if you try to tell a kid not to drink alcohol, bro, they're not going to listen, right? But then if you drink enough alcohol and then it fucks you up enough and then you grow up drinking alcohol and you're like, bro, like, I kind of understand now, like I'm going to be the one now telling my kids not to drink alcohol or some shit, right? But it's like, you had to have experienced it first to learn that. And some things, that's just how it is. You have to experience it firsthand to truly understand. Otherwise, you're just taking other niggas' word for it. And I don't trust niggas, so I gotta find out for myself. The microfibers lengthen in reaction and reach into my enemy's muscles when I grab someone. With a brain like yours, I'm surprised you haven't been adopted yet. I'm not in a rush. Parents aren't all that great. I didn't have any memory of my own parents, good or bad, but Nico hated his parents. So much that I often wondered if it was better off not remembering. That glove is pretty fancy, but why don't you just learn how to fight like me? First of all, you never learn to fight, and I have to have toys like these, because unlike someone, I don't have the reflexes of some primitive predator. That's one thing too, also, is like, I even learned this about myself as well. I'm like a hybrid class. Like, I definitely, like, I'm somebody who, like, I can fight and things of that nature, but I'm also somebody who, I kind of like, that's like, I kind of think of like that series Weak Hero, right? How like, he'll like use the environment. Like, he can like pick up and throw a chair at a nigga. Like, I'm the kind of person to where if I'm in competitive fight. Like if we were boxing, right? And we have to abide by the rules of boxing. And I'm fighting against another boxer, then like I might lose that match in terms of points or something. But if it's like a street fight, right? And some guy's coming up to me and he's got a black belt in something or whatever, right? Well, okay, this black belt about to if I throw a chair at that nigga, that black belt, with you a black belt, white belt, that chair gonna hurt the same. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like for me, I'm the kind of person to where I'm not ever thinking of trying to win a fight by playing fairly. I'm always gonna figure out how to cheat, but like cheating is the meta, bro. Once again, in the tuning exams, right? It's not that you need to study harder. You just need to learn how to cheat and not get caught. But like, you just kind of got to be a ninja. Like, you got to figure out what's the real meta, what's the true meta, you know? And a lot of times the true meta, everyone's going to tell you it's wrong and they're going to discourage it because they don't want competition. That's really what it is. So for like even like in Boruto, when they said that Boruto was cheating because he was using the capsule, he was using the technology. A win is a win. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Now he got the karma and shit too. So, because at the end of the day, even ninjutsu is technology, right? Someone had to figure out ninjutsu and teach it to people. So, you know, it's the same shit. If I had to say my reflexes range somewhere between a sloth and a turtle, but even though the glove is useful, it seems like it only buys you some time. Because like, I mean, honestly, because that's the thing, bro. Like if you incorporate, that's why I say work smarter, not harder, right? Instead of trying to be the strongest, try to be the smartest and then find a way to incorporate that intellect into your strength. Make your intellect your strength, right? Like if you're somebody who only focuses on working out and fighting, but then you're not focusing on getting smarter, then you're only ever going to be useful in a physical altercation. But then if you also only focus on the technical aspects or like just getting smarter, but like not like actually like being physically stronger or healthier or exercising, whatever, then it don't really matter how smart you are if you're a feather in the wind that can be blown away. Like for me, in my soul leveling journey, I can't just be like, I have to not only just be somebody who's smarter, but I also have to be somebody where like, if I'm physically in a room with a bunch of people, right? I have to have like some physical advantage in some respect, right? Like, balancing that out, you know? Cause like, if I'm in a club or whatever, right? And then some fat fuck, he's got a section, right? And all the girls gonna go to his section because he got the section. But I'm like, I'm a broke, sexy nigga, bro. I'm stealing his bitch. But you see, if you take two of me, right? One's broke and one's got a section, the one with the section wins. So it's not that the section didn't play a factor. It's just, it's one element of the equation. For some people, they put so many resources into one element that they have a complete opening, a complete Achilles heel in another direction. That makes all that effort pointless. It doesn't matter how wealthy you are if you're unhealthy, right? If you're the richest person in the world and you're dying, you are, as far as I'm concerned, you are at the bottom of the social hierarchy, right? And that's why I feel like a lot of people get into things like bodybuilding and stuff like that, because it's not even really about being stronger, like, oh, I'm about to beat someone in a fight. It's just like your discipline or just your access to that. It's like, it's a status symbol. It just ranks you a certain, right? No matter how your financial situation is, if you're a jack nigga, you're a jack nigga, bro. And that's just how it is, you know? So that's the way I look at it, is like, if you're somebody who you're not really like, maybe you're very smart, like maybe you're really good at video games, right? And you have really good hand-eye coordination, you're really smart, maybe you're really good at solving puzzles or whatnot, right? You should still make sure that you have some type of routine that keeps you fit and healthy, right? It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to go to the gym. Maybe it's just maybe you go for walks, right? And maybe you don't have the craziest fashion or whatever, but you shower, you know what I'm saying? Like your clothes are clean or whatever. Like you line your shit up or whatnot, right? Just, yeah, exactly. Balance. And the thing is that doesn't require you to even have to deviate too far away from what you're already doing. Chances are you already have access to all of this stuff, right? Like for me, I play to my strengths, right? And I delegate my weaknesses. I'm not trying to do something that's so far away from something that I'm already doing. I'm just trying to find how I can just, innovate and incorporate that. But anyway, microfiber gloves, that's clutch. Like think about what do you have in your life that is a microfiber glove? What do you have that conducts key, right? What is your weapon that it gives you a little bit of an edge in a situation, right? Sometimes that could just literally be the fact that you're a gamer and other niggas aren't, and you could just use that gaming mindset, apply it.
Yeah, that's right.
Like that's why I feel like you know why I feel like I'm the smartest nigga sometimes is that I'm a better gamer. Like niggas just don't be gaming. Like honestly, I feel like the people that are smarter than me, they don't do anything that makes me have to challenge them, right? Like the people that I'm usually challenged by are people who are dumber than me. Because typically if someone's smarter than me, they're not even gonna see me as a threat. Or they're just going to teach me what they know. I'll just become a student. If you're my op, probably dumber than me, because I feel like when you reach a certain level, like you just respect the game, and anybody who's just at that level, or even that also at that level of competition, you want to team up, you want to squad up, balance your laptop. Anyway, like these two, right? Like I mean, they could be rivals, but like for them to actually be like hating on each other, that must mean that like one of them would be insecure about their own strength. Like he was saying, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you got the instincts and you're stronger, but I got this glove, so it's all good, Like he's like, okay, well, Gray can't make a glove like that, so he might not be able to fight like Gray, but he's able to. He's focusing on the thing that he can do that Gray can't do, and he's taking pride in that instead of being jealous about Gray being better at things that he's just not. This is not his priority. I spent some of the money we got from pawning the jewelry to buy the materials. Fun experiment though. How did you get the rest of the money to the headmaster? Some guy I know. He gave it to the headmaster Wolbeck as a generous donation in return for a percentage. Huh? Between your shopping spree and the percentage, how much of the money actually ended up in the orphanage anyway? Half? I didn't have a choice. Hey, he a hustler though, I respect it. No way in hell would Olivia take money from us without questions. It's Headmaster Wilbeck. And luckily we won't have to worry about money anymore. The orphanage is being covered by the government now. Seriously? Then I could spend our tainted money on microfibers. I'm just kidding. Anyway, but like once again though, now that we're being government funded, that sounds cool on paper, but like we'll see if, I don't know if the story will even take it that far, because a lot of times, oh, it's being government funded now, like what are they gonna change? What are they gonna fuck with now? If the government's funding it, they're funding it for a reason, because they wanna have a say, bro. Like a lot of times, like you have the government backing something, they'll give you so much more money, but you'll be able to do so much less with that money because now you have to move within their constraints. Like I was dating this girl a few years ago, and she runs I don't know if she does it, if she still does now, but she runs this nonprofit, right? And like she was asking for my advice about it, and I was telling her, because she was getting good funding for her nonprofit, right? And I was telling her, I was like, okay, well, make sure that you really do your research and that you really are clear about the conditions of the people who are funding you. Like you're giving away shares of your company, and you don't know who these people are or what they're gonna do with it, right? Like you have situations like with the BLM movement, right? Where it's like those niggas literally just took all their money and pocketed it, right? So if you start a nonprofit and you start getting investors and people start funding, you have to make sure that their interests are aligned, because the whole point of a nonprofit is that you have an altruistic purpose. But that doesn't mean that all the people who are funding your nonprofit have altruistic purposes or altruistic goals as well. They just are the ones, they have the money. And in fact, a lot of times people will prey on nonprofits because of the duplicitous nature of that kind of environment. And that's how, like, once again, people will take advantage of that and then just take all the money. And then a lot of times when that happens, the nonprofit is no longer even representing what it was created for, because it's now all about the money. So that's why, like, whenever I'm reading something or I'm seeing something, oh, it's being government funded now, I'm like, all right, well, shit, like, I hope your government is funding it for the right reasons and allow you guys the freedom, the flexibility to do what you want to do with it. So, like, that's why even for me, bro, that's like, I won't just like take money from anybody, because, you know, there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? Like, I need to understand why, like, people are giving me their money. Like, what is it that they're expecting in return, right? Because if it's not something that I'm signing up for, I'm not going to find myself in a situation where I owe niggas some shit that I didn't want to give in the first place. Very well. This magnanimous gentleman will forgive you for your lame joke. It's magnanimous. Don't tell me. Yep, Cecilia again. It's longer than usual this time. What the fuck? What is she doing? She's shaking the ground? Let's check it out. What? It's too dangerous. Remember what happened to that volunteer who tried to hold her down? Damn, what does Cecilia be doing, bro? To where, like, what even happened, bro? Like, they felt her spiritual pressure. Look, rumble. Like, what? What is she on, bro? Is she a dragon? Like, let's see. Yeah, he couldn't even make it near her. He was a bear of a man, too. Damn, bro. Even bears can't get close to her? I just can't stand having to wait like this until she passes out. I can't imagine how much it's hurting her. You like her, don't you? Ooh. No way. I don't even know the girl. I just think she's a little pretty, that's all. Sure. I don't understand. Well, let's figure out. I'm curious what she's even doing, bro. Look at this. They can't even get near her. What? People are already waiting outside? Randall, why are they just standing there and not helping her? Let me borrow this for a sec. Oh, he gonna take the glove? All right, let's see what he gonna do with it. Gray. So I'm gonna go in and save her. Hold on. Watching video talking right now. It's perfect. So this is just thematic right here. Gravity powers? I don't know. There's no way Randall can get to Cecilia safely through an attack this intense. All right, well, he put on the glove. Bro, how does he even know how to use his glove? Gray, what are you doing? Let me see, this might be too loud though. Oh shit, oh, she's tweaking, bro. So she just has really powerful psychic abilities? Cecilia was an irregularity among key users. While even the most capable practitioner could, at best, be able to produce a small gust of energy with their key, Cecilia was able to surround herself with torrents of key. Damn, but she can't control it. However, she wasn't able to control it. From what the headmaster told me, the key outbursts happened with the slightest emotional provocation. She looked like Sylvie. I wonder if Sylvie is also a reincarnation as well, bro. That would be hilarious. While many key users would see this power as a gift, for a kid like her, I would only see it as a curse. Cecilia, hold on. She kind of looked like Tessia a little bit. Stay away. Oh, damn. Weave through the key. Outburst, damn. You'll get hurt. Nah, he good. Look, grab my hand. You gonna use the glove? Oh, shit. Oh, crackle. All right, wait, hold on. Oh, did it work? He just zapped her. Did he take her out? Damn, bro. Fucked her room up too. Broke the headboard too? How pitiful. All it took was this little thing to drain my key. Oh, it took him out too? Gray. Oh, damn. I mean, he says how pitiful this little thing, but like, it wasn't just that, bro. There was also Cecilia's key torrent outburst too. Damn. Well, damn, I mean, like, at least now they know. Just use that glove. Okay, back to this timeline. Please wake up. Sir, I'm begging you. Please, we need you bathed and prepared for Commander Virian's speech. See, this is what I'm saying, bro. A lot of times, like, I was literally talking about this the other day. A lot of times I'll be having dreams of scenarios of things that don't necessarily happen, but like, there's like lessons in it, right? I'm being told something in the dream that might be relevant to like your dreams are trying to speak to you, bro. They're trying to give you hints, bro. Like, I was literally watching this movie. No, I was watching this TV show. It's called The Sopranos, right? And the main guy, you know, he's a head of the mob, and he has a dream that one of his friends was a CIA informant. And then so because he had that dream, when he woke up, he went and searched his house, and then he actually found like a bunch of stuff that he was hiding that he was using to contact the CIA. So he was actually right from his dream, because a lot of times, you know, when we're awake, we are picking up on a lot of stuff, but like maybe we're hyper focusing on something. Maybe we're not paying attention to everything, so we don't have the full story, right? But like we might subconsciously have recorded a lot of information that we've never really reviewed, we've never really thought of, right? Then when you're asleep and you're dreaming, you take all the information, you compile it together, and then you start to come up with ideas or solutions or making connections, right? Realizations, that was the word I was looking for, right? So even if we don't have the key glove in this timeline, maybe there's something that Art can do if he was able to use that glove to stop Cecilia's key outburst, right? Maybe he can apply that same logic to stop Tessia's emotional outburst. Something. Move out of the way. I'll wake him up. Oh shit, bro. You could have just knocked. Look, now he's like, bro, this is why I hate when niggas do this to me. I'm like, bro, like, you gonna mess around and get jumped. A displeasure to see you again, Baron. I see you've learned some new tricks. Don't you know it's dishonorable to attack someone from behind? Well, we're at war. I get changed. The rest of the lances are already at the teleportation gate. Damn. After Lucas, Baron and I would always have our differences. Oh, after Lucas? Oh yeah, whose balls you crushed? Oh, no wonder that nigga hates on you, bro. Like, you never get over that shit. Even if you did deserve it. But I understood what he really meant when he said we were at war. Both of us were invaluable, and our differences meant nothing with our continent on the line. Hey, well, I mean, that's pretty admirable of him to be able to set aside, like, the fact that this guy killed his brother, but he's willing to work with him because he knows that there's a greater force that they need to unite against. There's more important issues to worry about. Sir, please, I hate to keep nagging you, but it's all right, Rosa. Hello again, sir. That is a thick maid, bro. She beefy. We need to send her in a war, bro. She in the wrong profession. She a maid. She need to be dunking on niggas, bro. She is Shaq. She need to be a point guard. Like, what? She be in the front lines. I just got direct consent from Commander Varian to speed up the process. If you're not in the mood to wash yourself, I'm more than happy to assist you. Whoa, she gonna break his back, bro. No, I'm very much in the mood to wash myself. Oh, and after you wash, please dress in this suit of armor. New fit, new drip, new Arthur drip. Oh, that shit is shining, bro. You know it's gonna be look saucy, bro. Lord Alder had this specially prepared for today's speech. Ooh, custom design. And they're gonna hoe us. Of course they ain't gonna let us see the new fit, bro. They gonna make us wait. That's crazy, bro. They just gonna do the Pulp Fiction glow on us like that? They're gonna blue ball us like that? Wow, that's how it is? Yeah. I'm gonna be curious though. I'm gonna be curious how that dream is gonna be relevant to the current timeline though, right? Like him using that conduit glove, which was pretty impressive. The fact that he didn't even know how to use that glove. It was just built by his friend. I don't remember what his name was. So the fact that he was able to, that was also fast thinking. He's a kid, bro. And you have all these adults, oh no, oh Cecilia, she's flailing her key, blah, 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 everyone stay away. And he's like, nah, bro, like we about to pull up, I'm about to take your glove, and I'm about to weave. He got a few cuts, but hey, he got in there though. He got in there and he dispersed that shit. They kind of knocked his ass out, but I'd be curious to see what happens when he wakes up. Like to see if let's work on that. Let's build on that. Like we need to just make, maybe we can just make Cecilia a glove and then she can just use it on herself, or just always have a glove on hand to stop it. Because that was the first time, at least to what they are saying, that anything has been able to stop Cecilia's key from flaring like that, right? So for the being that first time use, regardless of the recoil damage, it's pretty effective, honestly. I see that as an absolute win. You know? Like, if there was a nuke falling on the planet, I mean, it's gonna wipe out all civilization, and then we manage to intercept the nuke, and maybe it just blows up like one country. But as a result, we've saved the whole world. It's kind of like, preferably we want to save everybody, but if a little bit of collateral damage saves everybody else, sacrifice a few to save the many type shit, which I guess also, once again, people are a little bit nuanced on that topic too, of like, well, all life is precious. No one should be sacrificed. And I feel like in an ideal situation, yeah, of course, that should be how it be. But, life is sometimes chess and not checkers, and pieces need to be sacrificed for the greater good. But for me personally, if I was a soldier in an army and I needed to be sent on a suicide mission to potentially save everybody back home, and I'm fighting for a cause I'm actually passionate about, like I'm fighting for my friends, family, or whatever, I would do it, honestly. Like, I would lead the vanguard, bro. Like, but the thing is that, like, they asked me this question once. They said, if I felt like me dying would save everybody in the world, like just instantly, would I do it? And I actually wouldn't. But what I would do is I would try to save as many people as possible. So I think that, like, for example, if I was sent on a suicide mission, I think the reason why I would go on a suicide mission is that I would still try to survive. But I'm definitely one of those people where, like, if I was that guy in Man of Steel where he was fighting against the Kryptonians and he's just a human, right? And the Kryptonian pulls up on him and then he's just like, a glorious death is its own reward, and he blew himself up. That was some G shit, bro. If I go out like that, that's how I'm going out, bro. That's even what I'm gonna say. If I go out in a suicide mission, I'm gonna say some Viking type shit. I'm gonna go Valhalla, my nigga. I'm gonna be like, right before that I pull the trigger, a glorious death is on reward, my nigga. That's how I'm going out, bro. Like, boom, easy. So long as I go out like a real nigga, that's all that matters, right? I guess I am a Viking in that respect, right? I just want to die in battle. That's all, you know? I just want to go out swinging. But if it's for the right reason, then, you know, I think it's actually more honorable to die in battle for a righteous cause than of old age. Because then it's like, you just sat it out then. You just sat it out and waited for your shit to expire. Like especially when you're at your peak of human evolution, if you're like, your peak in terms of like, you have to at least, I feel like if you die of old age, when you were young and when you were in your prime, you should have at least risked your life. And it doesn't mean that you have to risk your life like literally, but you have to at least have like had that point where you staked your existence on making a legitimate difference. Like you made that nin contract, right? Like with Gon, right? When he was using his nin to fight against Neferpitu, you need a Neferpitu, bro. Like what's going to make you put all your nin into one attack to where it's going to age you 20 years and then just give you crazy power, right? And then the crazy thing about that is that Gon survived. So there isn't even a guarantee that you staking your life for something you're going to die, right? But I feel like that was the true rite of passage for Gon. Not completing the hunter exam. No, when Gon was literally willing to throw his whole life away to avenge somebody he cared about, that was when he passed the real nigga test, as far as I'm concerned. That's what made him a true hunter. And it don't even matter how strong he is, because like he has the ultimate strength of resolve, of willing to stake his life on what he believes in. To me, that's what it truly means to be God. What truly means to be God is like, that's infinite power. Is like you are willing to forsake your own mortality for who you are, what you represent. Because then that it transcends. You're no longer bound by your mortality. Like that's not even. It extends that. It's more than you. Like most people, all their decisions and all their choices and all their values somehow circulate around their mortality. It circulates around. It's like, well, I care about this thing because this thing is keeping me alive. But what if there's something that you care about so much that it's more important than your existence? It's more important than your death. That's some real nigga shit right there. So like, to me, even if I do die of old age, I have to have lived a life in which I ran it up at least once, you know? And then if I died of old age, it's just because I survived. That's why I think a lot of people have kids, because then it's like, okay, if they die, they can at least have some evidence of something. Because like, I feel like if you give birth to another human being, that's like the ultimate, that's some crazy shit. Like that's a whole nother nigga walking around. So like, even if you die and then that person ends up being a loser or whatever, it's like, well, you still created a whole soul, you know. But I don't really feel like for me, like if I end up having kids, it's whatever. But I don't feel like for me, it's either which way. I feel like for me, it's more about just like representing a certain energy, you know, like just, I feel like once again, just running it up, just being like, okay, like we're on that Jaeger's Tatake mindset. So if we can inspire other people to get with that mindset, to me, that's a birth of a warrior is better than a birth of a child, because a child could grow up to be a peasant or be a NPC. But once a warrior is born, warrior till you die, till death do its part. That's, you need to risk it all. So to me, I feel like that's truly, it's not even about winning the war. It's just about cultivating warriors in general. Just the spirit of the warrior, the will of fire being lit and being kept aflame and pervading generations, right? I feel like, and in fact, I feel like creating more warriors will actually deter more war, right? Because people are honestly pussy. People aren't going to fight against fighters. They're going to fight against those who can't fight back, right? But if we can create more warriors, it'll probably actually deter more conflict, right? Because it's like, oh, like niggas don't like fighting battles that they don't know they're going to win, right? Even if you are a true warrior, like, and once again, if they are going to do that, then it has to be for a good reason. But most war stems from greed, and greedy people, the whole reason why they're greedy is because of their selfishness and their attachment to their mortality. So if somebody's greed is threatened by mortality, then they're going to pick mortality over, like, because that's where their greed stems from. So like if somebody's life is at risk for them to get what they want, you're going to prioritize what keeps them safer over getting the thing. So if it's very easy to go to war with a country that can't fight back and take their shit, then greedy niggas will do that. But if that country has nukes, suddenly niggas don't, they have altruistic, suddenly, oh, you know what? They're making a good point, actually. You know, actually, it turns out that this communist country, because they have nukes, let's hear what they have to say, you know, like, so that's how it really is, honestly. It's not about, oh, who is making the better argument. Nah, who got the bigger bombs? Suddenly everyone agrees. Suddenly they make perfect sense to everybody. So, but once again, if you're a true warrior and you stand for something that transcends your mortality, then you're a real problem, because you can't be silenced at that point, right? You can't really be stopped.